Smoke one spliff, get high to the rhythm. Smoke one spliff while you're waiting for Jeran. Smoke one spliff, get high to the rhythm. Smoke one spliff while you're waiting for Jeran. Smoke one spliff, get high to the rhythm. Smoke one spliff while you're waiting for Jeran. Smoke one spliff, get high to the rhythm. for Jared. Jared. We waiting for Jared.
Wait no more. Wait no more. I'm here. We are in full effect. Hopefully you guys are well. Welcome to the show. It is time for another Jeranism Friday Unplugged. Are you guys excited? I am. I am quite thrilled. Let me make sure everything is working well here. Got a new little setup here. Oh, that's going to block my sign. How about there? It's a little better, huh? How about this? I got this one right here. Look at that. Isn't that pretty nice or what? Is that dope or what? I agree. I agree with you. It is dope. So let's get rolling. We got a lot to cover. Your wait is over. I'm here. Have no fear and all that stuff. Don't be insincere. Objects on the stream are closer than they appear. And isn't it crazy that I now think we live on a sphere? How about that? Fat Earthers here. Saying hello to people in the chat. Mojo Shop's here. Sean G, what's up? Hopefully we get some Flat Earthers here. I'd like to talk to them at the beginning. Let me show you a couple things here. First, we've got episode number 4 today, January the 31st. And it is responding to those that say the Antarctica trip was fake. And then also we'll just go through a couple other things as well. So it is episode number 4. Time to unplug from the Matrix, as we say. So we got to unplug from the Truther's echo chamber. Unplug from, the current, I don't know what you want to call it, conundrum that Flat Earth is facing. I want to talk about some people who have reached out to me this week, and I still think that people don't even understand what we're talking about with why the Flat Earth map has been debunked and what it means. So hopefully people will be able to understand a little bit more clear today. We'll go through that. And then I'll show you, because what I want to do, I don't want to do this forever. I'm not going to be a glober. I'm not going to be a Flat Earth debunker. But I do want to point out that I do think there are some fatal flaws in the Flat Earth that will never be fixed. So that means that I want to make sure people have an opportunity to know that before they get tangled up in it. I did get quite a few emails. I did go through my emails this week, and there's a ton of people that are walking away from Flat Earth. So that's a good thing, to be honest with you, because otherwise they're going to be stuck there for who knows how long. And that is not a good thing. So, and then we had a crazy happening today. I'll show you this. To talk about not wanting to see this. Very first thing I did was go to my website today and my shop.jeranism, and it's down. So I'm like, what's going on? Why is my website down? So I went to my back room, which is on Celix. Let me show you what I saw. Tell you how exciting this is. So this is what the Celix website shows. This website has been seized. Operation Talent. So I did some research on that, and it looks like they busted some people for running some weird websites, and I guess Celix was their processor. So in that whole hoopla, my site is gone. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Like, I can't even get into the back room, so all my orders are in there, everything's in there, all my items, my products. So now I've got to redo a whole store because the government shut down Celix. So that's not a fun way to start. I was going to do a little segment on Moringa today. Can't do that since you can't buy it. But we'll be back up soon, so hold your horses. I want to mention that tomorrow we've got the Starlink going on, hopefully. It's been delayed. It's supposed to be Thursday. Then it was supposed to be Friday. And then it was supposed to be tomorrow. So currently it's still listed tomorrow, February 1st at 3:02. So we are having a VIP tomorrow. The VIP will be Austin Thompson, and I believe there might be one other person. I'll let you know. And it'll be up until about 2:15, so just from 12 noon Pacific to 2:15 Pacific. Then I got to leave to go and film this and start a stream after that. So anyway, you want to watch that tomorrow with me, you can do that, and I'll show you why we're doing that in 1 second. But I wanted to show you that the thumbnail's up for tomorrow. Got Group 11-4. It is going to be launching from Vandenberg. If you're in California and you have the ability to film it, I would love it if you would. And then you could send it to us so that we can kind of put them all together. And I'll show you one more time why this is important. And I still have not gotten an answer other than somebody telling me the atmosphere, which doesn't make any sense. So let's check this out, and then I'll check in with the chat. Say hello to everybody, and we'll get going. So this is a guy. His name is Bobby Shafu, or Shafko, whatever. And he filmed the launch of the Falcon 9 from Del Mar, which is 225 miles away. And this is a peculiar one. So he's showing this is the horizon. This launch takes off. And I think this is one of the bigger evidences of ground curvature. So you can see the horizon there. We'll see what happens when I film it and when other people in California film it. But notice that this rocket is going up. It's going up into the sky. And we don't see it. So remember, he's 225 miles away. Where is this rocket? And so far, there's nobody who has any kind of answer other than somebody said the atmosphere. And I said, yeah, well, the atmosphere can block it. But why don't we see it until is it the horizon, which is, look, it's 37 seconds now, 38, 40 seconds, 41 seconds. So it's like, where could it be? Is it in vanish land where we just don't see it? Still now we're at 50 seconds. We haven't seen it. And now it comes into play at 56 seconds on the clock. So where was it for 56 seconds? Because what you have to believe is that from here on the horizon to here on the horizon took 56 seconds. And we can just calculate. So what's 56 plus 56? It's going to be 4 minutes less than a minute. So we add 4, 56 will be 52. So at 2:52 and 1:52, we will be at twice the height that it was. So let's look at that at 1:52 and see where it is then. We're at 1:30, so we still got another 22 seconds. We're going to pause it at 1:52 and see if we can make an assessment based on that. And the hope is that we can film it tomorrow or whenever it launches from Vandenberg next so that I can see this and not just depend on somebody else. But all right, so we're getting close. We got one. Oh, sorry. What happened there? I was watching the wrong screen. 1:52. I think I was watching the wrong screen. Oh, no. 1:52 on the clock, not my video length. Sorry. That's the problem. So there's 49, 50, 51, 52. Okay. So from here to the horizon line took 56 seconds. But from the horizon line to the horizon line took 56 seconds. So isn't the more likely case that 56 seconds to here, 56 seconds below the horizon, which is where it took off from if you grant the sphere. So anyway, that's what we're going to be testing. Check that out tomorrow. If you'd like, it'll be on this channel, and that video is already up and ready to go for you. All right, so let's get to the chat. I want to say hi to everybody. Doug, what's up, Doug? Spicy Sarah in the house. Hopefully you guys stay for a little bit at least to hear me out. I want to make sure that a couple people hear some things that I think are important. Many people are coming back at me saying that I was wrong about Flat Earth not being able to predict sunrise sunset times. I'm not wrong about that. I said that they cannot predict sunrise sunset times and angles. So the globe does predict that. The Flat Earth does not. The Flat Earth has never predicted one sunset or sunrise angle ever. So that's the problem. If the globe does them all and the Flat Earth does none, that's a problem. And there's becoming a insurmountable problem that has to do with an upside down sun, an upside down moon, a backwards moving sun, a backwards moving moon, a celestial pole in the south, the South Pole in the south, a Tropic of Capricorn that curves to the left, not to the right. So once you've added all those things together, one word answers it all. Sadly, the word is sphere. It's all you need to say, and everything jives. But if you say flat Earth, well, you can't explain any of that. The South Celestial Pole can't exist. The South Pole can't exist. Backwards moving sun must be a reflection. Backwards moving moon must be a parent moon. And so what I'm starting to notice is that this is these words that have come into play are simply replacements for actual science, right? So the word apparent sun is the equivalent of saying, well, we can't have a real sun or else we can't have a flat Earth. So we have to have a parent sun. Okay? Okay? somebody else told me for sure, Jaron, the sun that you saw is a reflection. And I said, yeah, but it didn't flip. And they said, yeah, but it's moving backwards like reflections do. I'm like, okay, go stand in front of a mirror and move to your right and tell me if the reflection moves to the left or your left. No, of course not. It follows you. It goes in the same direction as you. So that's, you can't expect to see that. But I'll show you these things here very shortly. Let me get into a Gerant here in a second after we get started. We got a lot to cover, that's for sure. What are we doing today? Let me just get a couple of things on my list here, make sure we're good. So we're also going to look at the South Pole webcams for the dates and times that we were there. I just want to show you guys that the weather coincides with what we claimed. We're going to talk about all the fakery claims, of course, go through those and just debunk them all and dismiss them as outright retardation, really. I mean, what Flat Earth should have done is just said it doesn't matter and just stuck to that. Just stick to it doesn't matter and move on. But instead, this, I don't know what you want to call it, devolving into calling people names, saying that they're fakers, saying that Austin's fake, he's a fake Christian, all these things. If you go that route, I just want you guys to know that McKeegan and his audience, Duffy and his audience, MC Toon and his audience, Critical Think and his audience are all people who know that we were there. And so when you are going off saying it's fake, you might be complacent. You might be kind of cheering on your crowd, your audience. But just so you know, everybody else is looking at you and laughing. And laughing because it's overwhelmingly been proven. It's not even a question. There's enough footage. I went live when I was down in Punta Arenas each day. We went live each day we were in Antarctica, interacting with chat. So for you to keep going on this, the Flatzoids of the world, the King Nikos, all these people, they look ridiculous. They're now a comedy act. That's what it's become. Pretty sad. And then I want to show you my time lapse and what happened with that. We'll talk about that. What else do we have? I think that's pretty much it. We'll get into some other stuff, but we'll just cover basically the trip. I'm getting towards the end of my rope with wanting to even talk about this subject. It's bothersome to me more than anything, because it's just weird to hear people friends of yours, who keep claiming you didn't go, who keep claiming that you're lying, that keep claiming that oh, what about this and what about that? And you're just like, every time it's already been debunked. Are you paying attention to what anybody else is saying, what anybody else is doing? Obviously not really. All right, let it get started. It is the #1 reason why Friday exists. If you didn't know that, that's true. So welcome to the show. It is going to be fun. It is Friday. So let's get it going. It is Jeranism Unplugged. Let's get it started.
F you to the stress, to the grind, F you to the haters. Every time F you to the drama, to the hype, F you to the mainstream, pushing lies, unplugged from the matrix. It's Friday night, unplugged with Mr. Honest and sometimes right. F you to the left, to the right, and F you to the elite parasite. F you to the noise, F you to the fakes, F you to all you weak snowflakes. Friday unplugged, unfiltered and real. Are you offended? How you feel? F you to the sleep, F you to the woke, to the trolls in the chat, you're an effing joke. F you to the sleep, F you to the woke, to the trolls in the chat, you're an effing joke. This ain't a trap house, but your mind's getting drugged. Type of Jeranism Friday Unplugged. This ain't a trap house, but your mind's getting drugged. Type of Jeranism Friday Unplugged.
Let's get it going. It is time for Friday Unplugged, episode number 4. I saw somebody in the chat mention Jaren start the oops, what's going on here? It doesn't seem to fit right now. Let's see here, I don't know why it's working. Somebody mentioned that I should go to the radio show. Yeah, that is the plan. We are going to start a radio station. It's coming soon. Don't you even worry about that. But it's going to be called, or what's, I don't know why this thing is all jacked up now. Weird. So weird. Maybe like that. I don't know. Kind of close, not really. The channel is going to be called, or the radio station is going to be called Rebels Radio. And we got the domain, cool, rebelsradio.com. It is not really up yet. It's just a holding page. Basically, if you're interested in joining us for that, a couple people have already reached out. We could use a bunch more. We're looking for people that want to host shows. And basically, there's just one rule on the station, and that is that we talk about opinions and we talk about our thoughts and our real lives, our real opinions, and we don't worry about other people. So we just don't want a radio station where it's other people and drama. No, we want to hear your opinion. That's what I respect out of people. Just give me your real opinion, no matter what it is, and I'll decide whether it fits my worldview or not. So definitely check that out when it's out. We're going to be you can't see the date on there. There's a date of March 3rd to start it. That may be correct. It may get pushed out. We'll see. So that's coming up. All right. So we've got, of course, we talked about that already. SpaceX happening tomorrow. We've also got this for today. Yes, good. And let me bring this up here. Make sure, is that on there? Okay, good. All right, if you want to support the show, you can do so many ways. One of them is Ko-fi, ko-fi.com, and you can donate that way, or you can use Super Chat, or you can use Cash App. And if you want to follow me, you got, I don't know, TikTok. I don't know what's going on with TikTok. I know. Have you guys seen the TikTok or the prices of iPhones with TikTok on them on YouTube? on eBay? It's absolutely insane. Like $15,000, $20,000. What a joke. What a joke. Anyway, let's get it going here, if we don't mind. I don't mind. So for the Durant today, I wanted to make sure people know that if you're one of these people that is sitting at home in your mother's basement, I'm quite sure. I went to Antarctica. Period. It's not a question. I stood on the ice. Okay? I filmed the entire thing. I shivered my fucking balls off in the cold, and I'd like to say I nearly lost a toe, but I did not. That's not true. But I mean, it was cold. Let's put it that way. And if you're just somebody who's sitting at a computer and think that you have uncovered some master plot, you have not. I don't know how else to explain it to you. Put down the bottles of Jerkins, please. Put down the AE map. Come back to reality. Let's get something straight, that just because you spend, doing who knows what you're doing, but you're probably photoshopping pictures and things like that, doesn't mean that that's what I do. I don't have any time to doctor video footage. We weren't in front of a green screen, as was clearly shown and proven over and over again. I was there. I was bundled up, and I was there to observe something because, and I don't understand what happened to the flat Earth community. Everybody knew originally what it meant if the 24-hour sun was seen. And then everybody just switched because they're not into actual evidence and research and actual proof and evidence. They're into something else entirely altogether. Let me show you this. This is Sav, who was talking to Will Duffy a while back. But Sav knew what was going on. Listen to Sav here. And he's just changed his mind, of course, because, of course, if you're a flat earther, you don't want flat earth to be debunked, so you'll just change your mind and say, oh, no, it's not actually debunked. That's completely wrong. It's like, oh, okay, I guess that's completely wrong. Let's watch this real quick. Just the beginning
in
here.
That place.
And I'll kind of comment through it.
Whether you're on a globe or whether you're on a flat, you are going to be south of the Tropic of Capricorn.
So hopefully people follow along here. We were south of the Tropic of Capricorn. Does that make sense? Tropic of Capricorn's down there, Australia. The southern tropic is the limit of where the sun goes. We were south of that.
You're going to be south of the furthest zenith position that the sun makes.
Correct.
So you are going to have to look north to see the sun.
Well,
and it would be real simple that as it traverses to the west,
right,
if it arcs in a west by northwesterly direction at all, you're not on a globe. If it arcs around, if it starts to track, you don't even have to see it for 24 hours. All you have to do is watch which way it tracks. If it goes west by northwest, you're going to be on, you're on.
And that's what I thought it would do.
If it's going past you in a west by southwest direction, in other words, angling off to this way,
right,
arcing around you, then you're definitely on a globe.
Then you're definitely on a globe.
So I don't even think it would be necessary to see it for 24 hours just to track that little bit of arc.
So just to notice, he said we would definitely be on a globe because that has now changed. Everybody's changing their minds now. And I'm the one who's getting the shit for it when I've been on the same page from day one. I've always known what the 24-hour sun would do to the flat earth. I've always known that it must be fake. It has to be fake down there. It has to be a lie, or else the flat earth isn't true. That's why I wanted to go. But they, all these people have decided to change their mind.
We do not have a 24-hour sun in the south.
The 24-hour sun in Antarctica doesn't work on a flat earth. On a flat earth, you can't have a 24-hour sun, a midnight sun in Antarctica. And I totally agree.
In the flat earth model, we say there isn't a 24-hour sun in the south, and there isn't.
There is no midnight sun in Antarctica.
When we landed, they picked up.
So the truth is that there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. The people I've seen on TikTok who are just going around slandering my name and saying there is no 24-hour sun. When you say that, you are implying that I went down there and lied. Do you understand that? That's your implication. Why? I don't know. But you don't just get to throw other people under the bus, call them liars because your religion dictates that it must be so. It's not the way that it works. Okay? So we need dipshits that are sitting at their house and just arguing with each other to realize the trip was real and then to move past it. Get to the next step, which is figure it out. Okay? Arguing for months and months about whether it was real or not is not getting you anywhere. Okay? The real tragedy here is that the flat earth itself is imploding over something as simple as my trip. A 4-day trip, documented, that anyone with a functional brainstem could actually verify, but nope. These lunatics would rather believe that I was bribed by the Illuminati, or that I'm now a Freemason, or that I took money from Duffy or whatever, the lizard people, or I got an Antarctic timeshare or something. I don't know. But people need a hobby. You need to. This is what happened to the flat earth years ago, that we stopped having people who cared about getting to the crux of everything. We just deny anything that it goes against our model. Say it's not true, just dismiss it, or that it doesn't matter. I mean, look at these terms that have come up that are just placeholders. For instance, saying that the lights in the sky don't prove the ground is simply because the lights in the sky prove the ground. Do you understand that? The lights in the sky are the proof of where we live. And so, of course, Flat Earth has to say, well, the lights in the sky don't prove where we live. Well, of course you have to say that, because you can't explain anything that's going on in the sky, so just dismiss it altogether. So these are just little moves to the next thing that they can get to the next thing. So I guess what I don't understand is if it's fake. Dave Weiss was, with Marty, said, oh, they get behind the plane at noon and they change the sun out or something. It's ludicrous. People in Punta Arenas would be able to see the sun. So how did they not see two suns? How do we magically place one sun in the sky while the other one's not seen? Wouldn't that sun set? Couldn't we see that from the plane? The sun's going off to this northwest and setting. So it doesn't even make sense. It's like all the flights are not at the same time. Remember, it's 24 hours of sun down there. So I looked, and there was flights that went at 11 p.m. because the sun's in the south. They can fly there. So I hope you guys hear yourself, though, calling everything fake. It's like, is every flight to Antarctica faked? Is every single base that's there faked? Dave described it as if you could just take a laser and shine it in the sky around us in Antarctica. He forgets that there's an entire continent. There's bases there, people there. They would all see that if they're within the proximity that where you can see it. So I guess the question is that I used to be part of that club, okay? And I wanted to believe in this thing. I really did. Like I said a million times, the flat earth is perfect to me. The way it's laid out, the way it operates, it just seemed right, okay? But when you start eating your own, attacking your own, because I had the audacity to say yes to somebody who offered a free trip. I went there. I filmed it. I survived. Yes. Well, then you're a cult. Okay. And let me explain it even more carefully. If you are somebody who doesn't allow somebody to leave without gang stalking them and sending the most insane, irrational, nonsensical messages to somebody that include death threats, that include what's going to happen to me, what's going to happen to me here, you're a cult. I mean, you need to admit that to yourselves, that if you're going to destroy somebody because they no longer believe what you do, that is a cult. It is. I don't know what else to tell you. That's what it is. So don't be part of that. Be open to let people believe what they want. I told everybody in the flat earth that here's the great thing about me. I'm open to evidence to changing my mind. So simply provide the evidence that I'm looking for, and I'll go right back. The problem is that I now realize that those things that I used to think would eventually come out will never come out. Nobody will ever figure out circumpolar stars in the south. Nobody will ever figure out how the South Pole works in a flat earth. Nobody will ever figure out sunrise, sunset times on a flat earth, because it's impossible to map a place on something other than what it is. And for it to match all observations is what I mean. Sure, you can map something on something and then it would be off, it would have mistakes. But as far as the sphere Earth, and we're going to look at that in a little bit, if the sphere is the shape, then when you map the Earth on the sphere, which is what they do, then everything has to match, or else it's not correct. Well, guess what? Everything does match. So we've got a problem. Now, you can start going on about, are we spinning, Jaren? Are we flying through space? I don't care about any of that. We'll get to that. I'm just worried about, where do I live? Because if I do live on the sphere that I was taught, then I don't need to worry about the rest. I never said that I need to understand gravity, that I need to understand the mechanisms of the universe. I don't think that's on me. Okay? When I thought we were being lied to, I stood up and said, let's point this out. And as more and more evidence gathered, it looked more and more to be true. When they lied about my experiment in the behind the curve, even more proof. When they lied with Stephen Hawking's, even more. Nat Geo, even more. So all these things were what led me to firmly believe 100% that the flat Earth was the truth. Sorry, I just lost my screen. What happened here? There we go. I got it. We're back. What happened to everything? It went away. Weird. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I know. I just see JSS Tiger. Thank you very much for the super chat. $10 says Dirth now thinks you and Witsit were fooled, and somehow there was some sun magic that got pulled over your eyes. I mean, guys, I just want you to think about that claim and how ridiculous it is. That we went down there and we were fooled by a fake sun. I mean, it's just insanity. It's not Satan. It is the sun. It had the same sunspots. They didn't flip. Well, they flipped upside down, but not mirror flipped. We proved, I mean, that shows that, how about this simple one thing? Just listen to this one thing. When we went there, okay, so imagine you are in Antarctica and you look south. Okay, so you're in Antarctica, you're looking south and you see the sun. And you find out, where's the sun right now for other people? And they say, oh, it's above my head in Australia. So here's your two options. Wait a second, I'm looking south and I see the sun, and the people in Australia are saying it's above their heads. Well, then either Australia is on the other side of the ball, where the sun's still shining on it, or it's 30,000 miles behind me, and there's a magic sun in the sky that just manifested magically out of nowhere, and happens to be placed exactly where the sphere Earth model says it should be. Do you understand how insane that is to be a flat earther at that point? Once you know that the sun is south of you, it's not even possible on a flat Earth. There is no sun that's south of you when you're past the tropic. The sun should be behind you. It's in the north. So this tells you, and I saw somebody else say, well, Jaren, you can't show a sphere Earth model that shows a 24-hour sun. Like, what? Yes, you can. I'll show you. That's why we thought that there wasn't one, is because that is kind of evidence or proof, if you will, if you're going to give it proof, of a sphere Earth. So I was saying before that I think the reason this is happening is that because even though you could go, right, you could go if you want. Again, I granted it's an expensive trip, but I mean, what Dave Weiss did is Dave Weiss cemented the fact that he'll never have to go now, right? Because by saying that it was a trick, that they tricked people, then even if he got funded to go down there and he went down there, he would just say, oh no, that's a trick. So it's just an easy way out. No, it's just a trick. And then if somebody else went and said, "Oh no, I saw it," they would say, "Oh no, you were tricked." Do you see how kind of this is setting yourself up for an undebunkable position? You can't be falsified. Same thing with saying Satan did it. If you're going to start allowing that in scientific circles, like Dean Odell has to be removed from the scientific discussion of the shape of the earth. You don't invoke Satan in a scientific discussion. Sorry. It's just, you can go and argue religion if you want. You can argue whether or not demons exist and the jinn, and whether Satan and his demons are a third of the fallen angels, and if they're able to become sons. That's a separate discussion. It can't be involved in the scientific discussion. So at the end of the day, what's happening here is that you're becoming a cult, and I feel partly responsible. I was part of that. Not necessarily, like, I had a problem with Ranty when Ranty left, and I think I even either did a video or I kind of went off on him at some point saying a bunch of shit. But it was because of the reason that he left, because he basically was doing all these observations, flat earth observations, and then one time he saw one picture that he didn't even take. It was one photo that made him change over to a globe earther. And I said, that's ridiculous. How could you have all this evidence, and then because of that one photo, you change over? Well, people are comparing that. And I'm like, no, there's no comparison. There's no comparison. He changed his mind based on a photo. I changed my mind based on the accumulation of impossibilities. And there are impossibilities that I thought and was teaching were fake. I said that there is no 24-hour sun in the south, that there is no South Pole. And these things must be so for the earth to be flat. Now, just because nobody else understood that, I understood it. I completely knew. I never thought I'd go down there. I never thought you would be able to go to Antarctica. I never thought that you'd be able to afford it, even if you could. So when somebody offers that possibility, you're like, yeah, I'll take it. But the flat earth is becoming a cult, or is a cult, and that's scary. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to see it. Because what it seems to be to me, and we're going to look at something in a second, is it seems to be a religious position. Okay? Now, for me, maybe it's easier because I don't have this attachment to religion, that I'm able to look at everything and say, no, this is not right. It doesn't mean there's no God. It doesn't mean any of that. Even though people, I think, tend to think like, oh, if you're a globe believer, you're anti-God or something. Like I said, I think it's amazing if God created a sphere. It doesn't matter what God created. It's still impressive. But the place we live is impressive, whatever it is. So at the end of the day, though, I win, and Flat Earth is losing because I actually went and got to see it. Granted, I feel very lucky and very selfish about doing that, but I knew that by going down there, I would know. I would come back on December 18th, and I would know, or December 17th, whenever I got back, and I would know. So you guys are at home and not doing anything, and then judging others, critiquing others, even though what you're doing is just, you're completely off base. So stop arguing with people on Telegram over and over again, and looking at clouds and saying that the clouds don't match when it's a different day, and not realizing that. I mean, everything that you're doing is just terrible research. You're not looking into anything. You haven't done any research at all. To keep claiming about the cloud cover and not go look at cloud cover and actually look at weather reports. To keep claiming about the temperature and, oh, it was supposed to be windy there and it wasn't windy. No, nobody ever said it's windy there 24/7. That's why they have that camp next to that mountain, so that it kills the wind, because that's not a very everything around that area is just flatness, and the wind comes in crazy. But when it hits that mountain and some other mountains around there. So the worst part is that you guys could go if you wanted to. You could still book a trip. You could still go down there. You could still prove people wrong, but you'll never do that. And I know that even if you did, you're just going to prove what we've said to be true. The trip was 100% legit. Sorry to say, I know you don't want it to be that way. 100%, you will never prove any part of it in any way fake or wrong, ever. And I know you don't care what I say, because you'd already be off this line of ridiculous research, but you're not. So you feel like you've really done something, you really uncovered something, and you haven't uncovered anything. So you can keep making your little debunk videos. You can keep yelling shill in the comments. I see it. Keep pretending like I don't exist. I don't care. Because I sit here, pretty warm and happy with my footage, my memories, and the satisfaction that I actually went and was able to show this to myself. And meanwhile, no matter if it's in 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, you're going to be right where I left you. Do you understand? Talking shit, accomplishing nothing, proving once again that flat Earth is nothing more than a sad little echo chamber of cowardice and delusion. And that's a sad thing to say. I looked up to the community as like great researchers and very open-minded and detail-oriented. Now I just realize it's just a religious cult that won't look at anything that goes against their model, and and anything that goes with it is celebrated. More people have told me Joe Hamby's model proves the flat Earth. Alonzo's model proves it. Shane's model proves it. Like, you've never looked at those models. You've never even looked into them. Literally, somebody could tell you anything and you'd believe it, as long as it's from a flat earther and it shows flat Earth, even if it doesn't show it, right? So another thing I want to get into is about trust, because I feel like people all want to say now too, they're like, well, you say don't trust you, Jaron, don't trust you. Like, okay, you do realize that when people say that, they don't mean don't trust anything. Can you imagine the impossibility? You can't even drive on the road. Okay, do you realize when you come to a green light, you are trusting that everybody else on the road is stopping at their red light? Do you realize when you're going through a stop sign or an intersection where there's a stop sign, you are trusting everybody on the road? So we trust people constantly. Constantly. So we're not talking about that. I'm not talking when I say don't trust me. It doesn't mean just, oh, you can never trust people, Jaron. No. For instance, when somebody goes down with personal testimony and you've got 9 people who were all there and 9 people's stories jive and 9 people's video footage jives, that's when you can start to think of things as being shown to you. When they're live streaming, we're live streaming from Antarctica. Hello. I mean, it's crazy. At the core of human nature, I hate to use the word evolution, but the core of the foundations of civilization, if you will, is trust. Okay? Not blind trust. I don't mean that. Not naive trust, but the kind of trust that's reasonable, logical trust, if you will. Okay? That allows us to function in this world where we can't personally verify every single fact ourselves. Okay? If we had to doubt everything, then it would be, we'd have to personally go taste and measure and test every piece of knowledge and before we called it real. We'd still be in the caves arguing over whether or not fire was a government psyop. It's not. We trust stories from 100 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. We trust historical records, old maps, ancient texts. We trust that World War I happened. We trust that Alexander the Great was real and he was conquered Persia or whatever. Okay, we trust that the Black Plague happened. I mean, maybe some people don't, but those people that don't certainly have just carried that on to even things that have the kind of evidence. So I could even understand if somebody said, well, Jaron, I don't believe in the Black Plague because it's just written about in a book. And okay, I'll give it to you. So this was not just written about in a book. This is people in real time doing this. Okay? So none of us were in Europe for the Black Plague. None of us saw Alexander the Great. Yet many people still believe it. Okay, but suddenly I go to Antarctica, and with modern cameras, with GPS tracking, with footage of my frozen ass standing on the ice, there's still no trust. After 9 years, people are like, oh, you're just a shill. You've been a shill the whole time. What are you talking about? So because somebody believes something and then sees evidence that they were wrong and changes their opinion, you should be happy. You should be happy. You should be like, oh, this is awesome that Jaron's actually telling us the truth. He's not like these other flat earthers who are not going to say the truth. They're just going to continue to double down because they want their grift to continue. That's not what I'm doing. I'm bearing the honest truth no matter the detriment that it's going to cause me. Okay? Because when trust collapses, which it has now, that's the line in the sand. Because this isn't about logic anymore. It should be about critical thinking. Flat Earth has straight up become a religion. I got out of religion and found Flat Earth and was like, oh, sweet, this group of open-minded people, it's not about religion here. Well, it's no longer about asking questions. Think about it. It's no longer about getting to the bottom of things. It's about defending dogma. Okay? It's no longer about seeking truth. It's about protecting the going narrative. And like any rigid belief system, it demands total obedience. You must believe what RV Truth tells you to. You must believe what Daddy Eric Dubé says. Total loyalty. Total rejection of anything that threatens the faith of Flat Earth. It's why no amount of proof, no amount of real-world experience, no amount of first-hand or first-person evidence will ever be enough for those religious zealots. So because the moment that they accept even a single contradiction, the whole house of cards starts to collapse. And I admit it. I admit that there was things that came up along this path that we put on the shelf. We shelved it. Jaron, how do southern stars work in this in flat Earth? Well, it's kind of hard to explain. There's a anti-polar position, and the stars go. So you just kind of word your way through it, and you're like, well, somebody will get to that. But then I realized there's nobody getting to it. Nobody will ever get to it. Mostly because it can't be solved. Okay? So flat Earth used to be about questioning authority, which I agree with. I'm all for. But I don't need to be a flat earther to question authority. It used to be about demanding proof. It used to be about exposing lies. Well, guess what? I can still expose lies. I can still demand proof. I can still question authority without being a flat earther. Okay? Because now flat Earth is just another closed loop belief system, echo chamber, where evidence no longer matters. Logic has become a threat. And anyone who leaves the church is branded a heretic. It's no longer scientific. Okay? It's no longer redeemable. It is simply a cult. And like all cults, it will eventually eat itself. That's just the way cults go. So that will be coming soon enough. Now, will it be in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 3 months? I don't know. But I won't be around to see it because I can't stand to see it. Like, I think we did a good thing. I think questioning things is a good thing. Getting out and being brave enough to say, hey, I'm questioning this is a good thing. But then to be shown evidence that you're wrong and never back down and just refuse to admit that you were incorrect. That's the problem. That's the problem. So that's exactly what we are seeing right now. So you can enjoy your basement, continue enjoying it. I will enjoy reality, which is what I think is important. And I don't think enough people really care about that because they say that we care about facts. Remember, we used to call the science people we said they were pseudoscience, but now we're using apparent suns that appear magically. Well, that's not pseudoscience. So just claiming reflections off domes, that's not pseudoscience. Think about it. We don't have an answer for many things. We're going to look at those right now. So let's get it on and going. Let me get this up here for you. First, I want to start out with something pretty simple. Well, just to get through some of this like debunking stuff here real quick. I was just listening to Keith, which has really become a comedy show. Because they just cannot get anything right. Anything. Let's
maybe like
listen
an overhang sort of thing. Okay, a piece of ice overhang, kind of.
Or tour the polar wilderness aboard snowmobile. Then
what's funny is that these guys are just so wrong, and then they just back each other up, and they're all yeah, whatever you say, and it's just embarrassingly wrong.
Hop aboard one of the ski-equipped windy climate.
Okay, so like listen to it.
Average mid-season temperatures at a base camp range from minus 12 degrees Fahrenheit to 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's minus 24 degrees Celsius.
This is not research. When you read something, and because we were there for 4 days and it wasn't very windy, except for the nighttime. And when I say nighttime, I don't mean dark. Nighttime is in, on the hours on your watch. But he's questioning. He says, "Oh, it's supposed to be always windy, very windy," and they're just like, "That's not research. What are you talking about?" If you're reading something that says, "Oh, during the winter it's usually windy," well, just because somebody has a video where 2 days it's not windy doesn't mean you've proven something. It never said every day it's windy.
1 degree, -1. On a sunny, windless day, it can feel quite warm, but
right on a summer day, it can feel quite warm.
But when the wind blows, you will be glad of warm layers and the wind jacket. Temperatures can drop below minus 22 degrees Celsius or minus 30 degrees.
Perfect, actually. Yeah.
Perfect.
Let me go back. There you go.
They just happened to catch it when it was very...
Oh, they just happened to catch it. That it was very... What do you mean? We had to leave early because of the weather. So your narratives aren't even correct. Did we catch it with perfect weather, or did we get there when there was a storm and have to leave a day early? Which one is it? Was it so windy that we couldn't get any sleep the night before the 17th because it was just crazy windy as that storm came in or whatever the low-lying clouds and stuff came in? So
perfect, actually. Yeah,
perfect.
Any mention of midnight sun there?
No one.
Nope.
So I mean, just another thing. Any mention of midnight sun? So now what that means is that you're saying that every single paragraph about Antarctica has to include the midnight sun. If it doesn't, then the midnight sun is fake.
Didn't hear a word.
Didn't hear a word.
He
read a paragraph.
Been about around 6 degrees today, and I could see my breath still.
So they're still on this breath thing. This is how dumb they are. They haven't looked up on Google. How come I can't see my breath in Antarctica? I mean, it's so simple to type in. How come I can't see my... This is how much research these guys can't do. They've been doing this for 3 weeks. How come I can't see my breath in Antarctica? They can't do it. They can't do it. Let's move this over and see how hard it would be to just do that. Do what I just did. It would take you 3 seconds rather than sit on panels and just make and look retarded. You can't typically see your breath in Antarctica because the air there is extremely dry, meaning there are very few particles for the water vapor for your breath to condense onto, making it nearly invisible to the naked eye. Essentially, your breath is so dry that it doesn't have enough moisture to form a visible cloud like it does in colder, more humid environments. So these guys are just going on and on about, oh well, when I'm in my freezer, I see my breath. When it's cold in Chicago, I see. Dum-dums. Chicago is not Antarctica. Antarctica is a desert. Do you understand that? The Death Valley in California gets more rain than Antarctica.
Dang it.
Were you vaping?
No.
No, he wasn't. He doesn't vape.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
Oh, hilarious.
Okay, so it says the inclusions: an airport transfers in Punta Arenas, Chile, round-trip flight to Antarctica from Punta Arenas, Antarctic guides and lectures, celebration event and certificate.
I mean, even the voice he's reading it in is as if he's uncovering something. You're just reading the same thing we all read before we went there.
Of achievement. They actually did get these certificates. I saw Dave McKeegan.
I don't have my certificate yet, but John's mailed it, so I think it should be here anytime.
And then checked luggage up to 25 kilograms. What's not included? Insurance coverage.
What's not included?
Commercial flights to and from Punta Arenas, airport transfers outside, and now it says meals and accommodation. Oh, in Punta Arenas.
In Punta Arenas, yes.
Okay. Right.
Okay, additional flights within Antarctica, personal equipment, and...
It's like, at what point do these guys stop? At what point do they realize that they're... Because what they're doing is they're building their own confirmation bias, and when I see it, it's like embarrassing. Because when they say something that's just dumb, but the other 4 guys chime in like, oh, yeah, then it becomes a narrative that they start pushing that is just wrong.
Hey, guys, they always seemed like
Listen to this.
When they were doing the live streams from Punta Arenas. Like, this is an observation.
It's just an observation. You know, guys, they seem like they were always colder in Punta Arenas. Could it be because in Antarctica they were geared up with fucking thermals, with double thick socks, with ski boots, with snow boots, with multiple layers? Could that be the reason? And then in Punta Arenas we're wearing pants and a shirt and a sweater? Do you think that could be the reason? You can't figure that out?
They always were really cold. Like, they're always saying things like that. Just interesting observation.
Very interesting.
That is, yeah.
That is interesting. Yeah, good job. Yeah.
And they started doing the live stream, like, oh, it's cold. They're like blowing, you know. Like
yeah, do you notice we were blowing in our hands because we didn't have gloves on? And in Antarctica, we wore gloves. These are not difficult things. It's embarrassing. You've embarrassed the whole community.
They were getting cold.
Yeah, we're getting cold.
Exactly.
Oh, exactly.
Apparently, when you stand in a freezer, it's not cold.
I mean, that's what he's saying. He's saying, because we weren't cold in Antarctica. Apparently, when you stand in a freezer, you're not cold. No, we had gear on, required gear. They had to come into our hotel room the day before we left and go through every single item you were bringing to make sure they checked off. Do you have your 2 pairs of thermals? Do you have 2 pairs of thermal shirts? Do you have 2 pairs of liner gloves? Do you have your regular gloves? Do you have your mittens to go on top of those gloves? Do you have your base layer pant? Do you have your thermal pant? Do you have your ski pant? The whole thing? And these guys are just dismissing it by saying, oh, I guess when you stand in a freezer, you're not cold.
So.
Oh, yeah.
I told you, my feet have been cold more times since I've been home. Well, clearly, because my feet were never cold 1 minute of 1 second in Antarctica. Never. The boots I had were fucking awesome.
You can't see your breath in a freezer ever, I can tell you.
You can't see your breath in a freezer ever. Well, is in a freezer have moisture? Pretty sure it does. Does Antarctica have moisture? No, the humidity is 0.01%.
It's a dry cold.
Oh, yeah, real funny.
Like dry ice, you get dry breath.
I mean, they're so bad.
See? Yeah.
How does anybody watch?
It burns to breathe it in, too. It just hurts.
But I mean, I remember when we were watching that first stream from
And watch this nonsense.
what's it? And we were like looking at lifetime what the weather report's showing. And the weather report wasn't fitting what they were showing. That was one of the red flags that was brought up. Like, it's showing it's overcast and windy, but there's no wind and there's no clouds.
You have that to show us?
That was a bit odd for us.
Yeah, they usually have real-time weather there, don't they? Like, because of the airport and the blue light runway. Yeah.
And when you were watching... So you're saying before that it wasn't windy when we were there, but now you're saying you saw weather reports that it was windy on the second day that we're there?
So, it's just something that I found interesting there.
Very interesting. I mean, none of this is interesting.
So these trips are pre-planned in advance.
By the way, Mark's awesome. This guy was great the whole time. Hilarious. If you don't know him, he's Candace Owens.
Duffy reached out to them and kind of piggybacked on that existing trip. So that plane was going there regardless. That trip didn't really sell as much as they thought it would. They also had to collect at least 70 marathon runners, so that plane was going there no matter.
Found old vape, did you?
Did you? An old vape, did you?
Oh, let's hear it again.
As well as some staff that
so
you didn't see in our...
What I hope people understand is that if you go into this situation with the preconceived knowledge that it's faked, then you're going to read everything these guys are saying, everything I say, everything anybody says. You're just already dismissing it. How can you consider yourself a good researcher if that's your approach?
Video.
So, Michael, you didn't vape, but you found old vape, did you?
Did you? An old vape, did you, Mike? Come on.
Yeah, I found an old vape on the floor.
I've already told people that I was in the tent when Austin found the vape. So unless he was trying to lie to me and he just said it in the past, like, oh, I didn't know I have this. Oh, I wonder if it still charges. And then he did something to make it charge. So I don't know. That to me was like, oh, okay, well, that's, he found a vape. I mean, it's like people are losing their minds over, oh, you just found, oh, they would never let it pass security. I got a freaking joint there.
Was it charged by chance? Was it ready to use?
Had a few drugs left in it.
Oh, man.
These guys are just making shit up. It's so sad.
We'll see your breath. Come on, bro.
So dumb.
What's up? What now?
What's up?
Come on, move forward.
Then to fly a plane out there. It was pretty awesome as an aviation fan myself. The empty plane.
Well, that is true and also not true because you're in a glacier and even ALE actually do speak that they do have penguins there. We actually read it the other night. They got 3 different types of birds or something as well.
They do not have birds. They do not have penguins, you dumb fuck. What are the penguins going to eat? How would there be penguins there? Are they eating each other? What is going on?
In Union Glacier. And penguins are one of them.
Didn't see any birds, did you guys?
No, there's no birds there.
None. That was.
What would they eat? Where would they land? On the fucking trees?
That doesn't mean they need to be there specifically. I mean, I know when I go to like Cape Town.
Oh, it's compare it to Cape Town.
Penguin Beach is like Boulder Beach, where there's a whole bunch of penguins.
Mm-hmm.
They're only situated in one specific area there.
Okay, near the shore, I bet.
Right.
So penguins like to be situated in a certain place. So I do
by the shore where they can eat fish.
Understand if they wouldn't see a penguin. That's not something I would say is a red flag.
Thank you.
Do they breed there in South Africa?
Yeah. Yeah, we've got quite a bit of penguins.
Let's move forward. Come on. Get to your next nonsense and then we'll move past this one.
Are we planning to maybe go to Cape Town?
What I wanted to show you this is if we could watch the whole thing and every single thing is bullshit.
Yeah. and
terrible
I want to
research.
go again to two oceans.
They're
That's
not saying they would. If we watch this whole thing, they don't say one thing that would make me go, I don't know about that.
Cape Point. Who did what?
What?
Carrie Skates did a video.
That 3 times Vapes at stream last night, so I take it that's what's at stream last night.
What's it did a stream?
Oh, Witsit did a stream?
I see Jaren's got a stream scheduled for 30 hours where he's addressing people who say that the TFE is fake.
Right, because you sound retarded.
So he's probably going to be addressing us again.
Yes.
You should watch it.
Hopefully Sean is not the moderator.
Oh.
No, it's Ruhif is his moderator for the most part, and McToon. Yeah.
Oh, MC Toon is my moderator? Just called a lie, my friend. What you just did is a lie.
Dude,
And
was in McToon's
where we
house
were,
when he did marathon. It was weird because you see him walk past and go to the kitchen to the bedroom, like he was staying over there when he did his marathon for the trip. It was weird to see Ruhif walking through McToon's living room.
What's he talking about?
Sorry, I had to say.
We're the only life.
You mean critical think, you dumb fuck?
It was a really strange experience. There was no bugs. There was definitely no crime. The first time we left the remote camp, I felt weird leaving all of my camera equipment and laptop and all of my belongings there in a converted shipping container that didn't have a lock on the door. But the ALE guide reminded me that there is no crime in Antarctica.
Well, let's think about it.
Oh boy, here we go.
Where are they going to go to if they steal your camera?
So why didn't you think about where the penguins are going to get their fucking food if you're going to start thinking smart?
Are you serious? That's hilarious.
And if you can afford a trip like the ALE trip, you're not going to go around stealing.
Correct. That's probably better.
Whole trip anyway.
So, nobody has time to go through these guys' entire videos.
My word, Sean Hawkins is streaming us again.
On now is your stuff, I think.
I'm just going to randomly place it here. I'm just going to go forward, just randomly place it, and watch the next thing they say will be ridiculous. Everything that they're saying.
Answers your question.
Let's see. The Moore effect is a distracting pattern from occurs when a camera focuses too intensely on an individual pixels.
So now they're talking about an LED screen. If you can't look at the footage and recognize that there's no LED screen, you've got problems. Let's skip forward here.
Shadows.
What?
That's a weak argument.
That's knackers.
I'm pretty sure the shadows are really reflective off the ice too. You're not going to get like deep shadows.
What? Shadows are reflective off ice? What are you talking about?
Yeah, me. And it's full of trees and they all go in the same direction.
Well,
of course.
From the source, yeah.
The other thing that's dumb that people keep saying too is they say that it proves a local light source. So it's like, well, what do you mean? What proves a local light source? They say the sun in Antarctica? No. So what do you mean by local? Are you talking about the flat Earth sun? The flat Earth sun is 3,000 miles away. That's not local. There's nothing local about that. When you're talking about local light sources having diverging shadows, you're talking about a studio light that's 50 yards away. Not something 3,000 miles. A light source 3,000 miles is going to produce parallel shadows, just like the sun does.
Want to do something?
So if it proves local light source, then it always has. It's nothing different than it always has done.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
The sun's at one local light source, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the shadows. They crisscrossing, as he said would happen with multiple light sources, correct?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's perpendicular.
No, it's called perspective. Do me a favor, jackasses. Go outside your house. Get out of the basement for 5 minutes. Take a camera outside and film the world. And then realize how dumb you sound.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that shadow should be going straight the other direction. You shouldn't even see the shadow off the tent at all.
I have this. I'll show you here.
Weird.
So
huh?
that's a bit odd.
Oh, that's odd.
I'm liking Russ's soul observation. She's making good points.
No, she's not.
Yep.
Let me
That's
bring
a
this up
question,
here.
Fats.
Something I show
Yeah.
you.
When you were on holiday and you were looking at sun, were you doing science, mate?
No, never claimed to do science. It's observation. Where's my hypothesis?
Yeah. Just keep
Right.
seeing
So,
loads of
I mean, this is another thing. I mean, science is
failed science and all kinds of stupid things.
it's so ridiculous to have this such a rigid opinion of what science is, basically saying that nothing has ever been shown or been shown by science when there has been many things. And it's just all science is testing to get the claim that is closest to reality. That's it. Which claim better matches reality? Oops, hold on. Didn't mean to bring this up. Oh, that's why I hit the spacebar over there. All right, so I just want to show you a couple of videos here. This is one because I think it's good to see. Now, again, I'm going to be showing you something from Antarctica. You'll be like, well, how does that prove anything? It's still Antarctica. Yeah, but I'm saying go outside and do it in front of your house. You'll see the same thing. Add to shared. Yes, and show. Okay. I just wanted to, yes. Post. Okay, I wanted to do that one and one other one. And I'm going to be releasing all this footage too as well, which is just all the stuff from my phone. Beautiful shots from the plane. And then some stuff. This is one of my favorites here. Well, obviously the joint smoking is my favorite, but this one here. No, that's the plane. Where is it? Where is it? Secondary camp. Oh, here we go. This one and this one. There she is. And we'll put that to shared album. Okay. And post. Just want to show you these two here. And then just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about with the shadows, and you can go do this yourself. Rather than just sit at your computer and make claims like you're some sort of shadow expert, that you have any kind of photo expertise at all. Just go outside and try and replicate what you saw and then go, oh, okay, I guess it happens like that. Right, it's not that hard. I mean, it actually looks like we're inept. It's kind of sad. Let me go here. You going to play over there? Yes, thank you. Actually, I'll play it over here instead. Yeah, let's do that. 1 second, it's coming up. I believe it's going to come up. It stops taking so long. Let's get this quick out of the way. I got an ad to show you. We'll be right back. It's just real short. While I fix this, I don't know what it's doing. It's not working. Let's go over here and see what's happening.
Take your muscle and joint aches away with JJ's. Text CBD to 920-382-7720 for $50 off a 3-pack of amazing JJ's natural CBD rub and or a 3-pack of 3,000 milligram CBD veggie capsules, 100 count. Best balm and capsules on the plain earth. Made organic with bee's knees strain hemp. Extracted with dry ice bubble hash method, so never any harmful solvents. Check out our testimonials. Visit jjscbdrub.com.
All right, we are back. Let me get this up there. I did get these two downloaded. So I want to show you these two. That's not where I have to go. Here. Did I go desktop or downloads? I'm not really sure. Looks like downloads. All right, nope. I lied. Date modified is the there desktop. Okay, so hello. Didn't I just save those? Oh, it probably puts them on the date that you. I guess it should do that. 1 second. I don't remember the name of them. Son of a book. I just had it and then I lost it. I think it'd be in downloads, right? Come on, where did you go? Should be called image something, maybe. Oh boy. Oh, then 1 second. I go back. I'm just going to show you from this page. Then it's easier. All right, so we're going with this one. All right, let me show you this, and you got to get you on a different screen. Back over to here. Okay, that's good. All right, so I'm going to move this over. Make sure I have the right one. Oh, it's taking it forever again. Why would it not be showing up where I said to do it? Oh, I know why. Like this. All right. So, if you think about how shadows work or how shadows operate, that if you were to fly a drone up above the location that you're at and look at shadows, they would all be parallel. But it's because where you're at in comparison to those parallel shadows that will make them appear to converge. Doesn't mean anything. And this thing is being weird. I don't know why oh, there we go. Now it worked. Okay. So let me bring this one up first. Is this the right one? And then backwards one? Okay. So here and forward. All right. So hopefully you can see. Come on. Come on. Get in there. All right. Just showing you a couple videos. So we got this one here, which is of okay, now you can hear the wind. So people saying it's not windy. This is because this is the morning that I believe we're about to go take a shower. So I think this is on the 16th. And listen to the wind. But I want you to watch these shadows. Okay, watch this shadow from this. Oh, gosh. I don't know why you can't see that. I'll move this up a little bit. That's better. All right, so watch the shadow from this tent right here. Okay? And you might say, oh, look at this shadow's going this way, but this tent is going this way. But if you were to fly up in a drone and look down, both these shadows would be parallel. It's just because of your perspective. Look how they move. Look at the shadow. See how it moved there? So it was pointing this way, it looked like. Didn't it? Let's go back a little bit. And look where, see the shadow? It looks like it's pointed there. And then just by moving your perspective, and look, now it's past you. So it looks like the shadows are moving. But that sound you hear is the wind. It was windy. Okay. All right, let's go this way. Now watch this one. This is my favorite video because everybody was inside. I was the only one outside. It was very surreal. Look at that. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Truth still doesn't get it. I just saw in the chat. He says, "Does Jaron doesn't even understand how atmosphere hides things at great distance. So he can't even get it through his head that the rocket is missing for 56 seconds and then shows up on the horizon. How is that atmosphere hiding it?" So the thing is, this is about midnight, or maybe it's 11 p.m. Not really sure what time that is. Around there. I mean, isn't that crazy looking? So just showing, if you kind of look at the shadows, you could again say that they're crossing, that different shadows have, oh, they're what do they call it? Converging. No, that's just you not getting it. Oh, that's the wrong one there. Back here, go over. No, let's close that one. And we were here. All right, let's just listen to one more thing here.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They do a Duffy. Because they actually have no rebuttal to my observation. And everything excuses they're trying to make shows just to be nothing. Their latest one is, oh, you're trying to do science. Oh. No, never once claimed science. Never once.
You claimed your video was, let me see if you still have it up or did you take it down, knowing flats. I don't know. Did anybody hear that he removed 11 frames of some video so that he could, I mean, it's just ridiculous. But that's
the thing. They do a Duffy. I
just want to bring up his channel because I want to show you the video that he's talking about. If you go to videos, and I believe it's, or is it under live? Yeah. So here, his video is called "Sunrise Observation Kills the Globe." This is the same guy who's been going around telling people that the lights in the sky don't mean anything about the shape of the earth that you're on. Do you understand how ridiculous you are? Oh, it doesn't make a difference, but you're going to say that the sunrise observation kills the globe? Imagine this. I'm part of a community that thinks that a sunrise being just slightly off, and it's not even off, I mean, the guy just can't line things up.
You gotta keep moving it.
23, 122.
I mean, you could watch this and look at where he's pointed it, and it's clear as could be. Watch.
That's what the globe claims, guys.
Okay, so he says that's what the globe claims.
That's what the globe claims the sun should be.
Now, imagine where this is pointed, kind of get an idea, and then watch where he turns it.
Let me show you where it is.
122, 23? Oh, yeah, I get you.
But the sun is over there. He just turned it way over here.
Yeah.
And there's the sun.
You know that's due to the magnetic declination. That's why you got to...
It's way to the right. Anyway, the problem with it is you said, I thought that the sunlight or the stars in the sky or the lights in the sky don't make a difference. Now all of a sudden they do. Now they kill the globe. How ridiculous do you think you can be just because you have an audience that agrees with you? And this is what I had to step away to see. That everybody is just confirming their own bias because people in the audience want to hear it. You're doing what the audience wants to hear. The audience in return is happy because they're getting to reconfirm their beliefs. And then you get a crazy little chip on your shoulder that you think you're actually making good points when you're not making any at all. You're just not. Let's go one more thing here.
We're doing science, man.
No, never claimed to do science. It's observation. Where's my hypothesis?
But your observation killed the globe. Okay.
Just keep seeing loads of ballers saying you'd failed science and all kinds of stupid.
He failed a lot of things, obviously.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They do a Duffy. Because they actually have no rebuttal to my observation, and
no rebuttal to your iPhone pointed at the sun. That is an iPhone. Nobody would consider that scientific at all. Nobody would consider it exact. So now you want us to debunk your observation.
Excuses they're trying to make shows just to be nothing. Their latest one is, you're trying to just. I did an observation that showed your globe claim bunk. That's it.
Yeah.
I thought that lights in the sky don't make a difference to the. So you saw an observation that made the globe claim debunked. Listen carefully, Flatzoid. I saw the South Celestial Pole, flat Earth, debunked. I was 600 miles from the South Pole, flat Earth, debunked. I saw an upside-down moon going backwards, flat Earth, debunked. I saw an upside-down sun going backwards, flat Earth, debunked. I saw a Tropic of Capricorn curve to the left around the bottom of a globe, flat Earth, debunked. Do you understand? Your sunrise being 5 degrees off, which you got off your iPhone, which isn't even an accurate compass, is not anything compared to the absolute destruction of the flat Earth. It needs to be done away with.
Difference between just testing something than science experiments. You know what I mean?
That made no sense.
Just a little test, a demo, whatever you want to call it. But nobody claims science.
Okay.
I tell you, when I get to Antarctica, I'm gonna look for like shadows crisscrossing when I'm down there.
That's funny.
The first time.
Yeah,
terrible.
Stick your link in again for people.
Terrible. So if you're still listening to these people who are out there saying it's fake, I hope you realize how ridiculous it is.
You see that. You see when people are separate and how far away they are from that single source of light is how the angle works. I'm not a lighting guy. I'm not a shadow expert. I'm sure I said something wrong there, but that's the general idea of it. Generalizing a bit. I'm not an expert. I'm just...
Kind of sounds like you had a discussion with McToon beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
What? I mean, these guys are just...
LJ, thank you for Planet.
Any nonsense that they want to just say. Sad.
Oh, yeah, by the way, the tattoo on Goku's chest, isn't that...
Could be deforming the fish, basically.
Flatfoot, give it up.
Think about that.
Get a new job.
It was a really, really interesting environment.
You provide nothing at all.
I've never been anywhere like it before, but I would absolutely like to go back, and I will absolutely take a whole lot more video than I did. I had no idea from there. There were a couple of factors that happened. So Will brought his own Starlink. He brought this gigantic, it's like a marine, it's like a $2,500 antenna because you need a special Starlink for Antarctica, apparently. So he set it up at home. He tested it. It worked. Didn't leave it powered up for long and brought it down to Antarctica. Apparently, it required a software update, which went at 3 o'clock in the morning, Antarctica time, which was still broad daylight down there. And that took it offline. So you saw that with McToon's live stream. He got kicked off at 3 o'clock. It sucks. He should have done that software update before, but there was really no way of knowing that was going to happen.
That's
true. The other factor was we were using Will's cell phone to as YouTube. So
this on YouTube as well.
Yes, they could have.
They could even ask for special permission, just like they did with Rumble, correct?
I don't know what they're talking about.
NASA
took it off. They didn't keep it running.
Using the Rumble Studio video on its reboot.
Oh. So maybe you should have done something else then.
Maybe.
YouTube, you can do a live stream right away.
If anybody's listening to this guy, you need to get off it. He is now in a world of just nonsense. Do you understand? Like the last 3 weeks, every show he's done, nonsense. Nonsense. The fact that anybody watches him still is just a bad sign for our future. So again, just search how can you can't see your breath in Antarctica. You'll get the answer there for you. Okay, let me show you. Oh, we should probably... shoot, what is this? No, we don't want that. I forgot that we do have to do our very exciting section, or what do you call it? Yeah, it's a section. It says show section, I would call it that, or a show theme, or a show. What do they call that? I don't even know. But I can't do it right now. We're going to be about to do it. So this is the, I just wanted to point out that I made a mistake last week. Not a mistake. I still think King Nico deserved to be Dirtball of the Week. But one thing I didn't realize is there was a reason, supposedly, that he copied Dubé's video word for word. And so that actually makes him this week's Dirtball of the Week. So let's get on with that. And we will find out why he did that. What could he possibly be thinking? Well, I'll tell you. Be quite easy. So it is time for the Dirtball of the Week. And it goes to Eric Dubé. Eric Dubé, you win Dirtball of the Week. Should be excited about that. Even your breath to keep the fire. So what he did is, I guess, this entire video is stealing from King Nico. So what he did is he made a video and took all of King Nico's research, put it in his video, did a narration of it. King Nico, after the fact, saw that and said, oh, I'll just go take that video back and read it in my voice since he stole all my material. So they both win Dirtball of the Week. Yes, many Dirtballs do exist. Look around. There might be next to you. Make sure that you tell them so that they don't become Dirtball of the Week. But for this week, it is Eric Dubé, and he is the biggest Dirtball that there is. Who knows where he's at, what vaccine injury he's getting paid out for today. Mr. DC himself, Mr. On the scene first, but absolutely essential to the fragmentation, the segregation of the flat earth community. Eric Dubé, flip-flopper Magoo, how I know him as. But yeah, he is a flip-flopper. He has gone back and forth. First, he said that the observations made there wouldn't matter. They don't matter. And he read a book from Lady Blount saying that they did exist. The 24-hour sun does exist. Then when we went down there, he stole King Nico's work and claims that we faked it. And then I guess, why would we fake it if it didn't matter, Eric? You don't seem to make much sense. You don't seem to make much sense. But he had to go back on 200 proofs, right? So many of the proofs are lights in the sky. Hello. Many of the proofs are the South not having a 24-hour sun. Hello. Debunked. And that's the problem. So Eric Dubé, for many, many, many reasons, including living in the mecca of ladyboys, you are Dirtball of the Week. Okay, we're going to get into real quick some... Oh, so as far as everything else, and I'll look at the chat in a little bit, and you guys can chime in if there's something you want me to address, any fakery, stupidity that's out there. We've already shown with the drone footage the camp and where the camp is, even though people couldn't quite figure that out. Oh, I'll show you my time-lapse is the way it's coming out. So if people don't know what happened with my time-lapse is I thought it went perfect. We get back, and I'm finding missing files, and also the camera did something I didn't expect it to do. I'm going to show you as soon as I get this up. Luckily, I got the sun going through the south part of it. I mean, that made me happy. At least I had something salvageable. Mine's not as pretty as everybody else's. This is mine from the rotating mount. But here's the problem that I didn't foresee. That I thought that the camera would just turn, and when I would test it in front of my house, everything would work fine. But what I forgot is that the sun was actually going to move lower and then higher in the sky. So when it does that, the camera goes with it. So this is beautiful here, looking at the landscape and being able to watch it like this. But as soon as the sun comes around to the north and starts going up into the sky, well, the camera goes up with it, and you lose the horizon. So pretty upset about that. At least I have the timestamp on there. That is from the camera, not added after. But at least I have the southern part. And I don't know exactly. Oh, I can actually show you in a second here. What happened? I don't know. I don't have the time to stress about it. You're not going to get it back. It's upsetting as it is. Let me show you this. I'm going to bring you over here. This is my video editor. Just want to show you this. Oops. Get over there. No, hold on. Try it. Shoot. It won't let me. Did I put it here? Can you see that? Yeah. So this is my video editor, and these are all the files from that card, from the time-lapse camera. So I've got black frames here, right? And then you do have the actual, and these are huge, by the way. They're 30, whatever, 32, what is it? I always forget. 4K is what? 3840 by 2160, 4K. So here, this is showing you a portion of the north. See, so I lost the horizon. You can kind of see the building right here coming into play. That pissed me off. And being there, you can't see the screen. You can only see, I just made sure I kept looking and seeing, oh, it's lined up to the sun. It's lined up to the sun. It keeps the sun perfectly in the middle of the frame, but that makes you lose the horizon. So that's kind of upsetting. So anyway, these are all the files here as you go through. I had to send the camera and the card back to the owner, not the owner, but the owner of the company, because he thought maybe there was something in the logs that he could figure out, but he just said he doesn't know. He thinks maybe the power got cut, which doesn't make any sense. I told him that the box that I had that was powering both the mechanism and the camera, the mechanism turned the whole time. So he's like, oh, well, maybe there's batteries in it. I'm like, no, there's no batteries. It can either be battery or plugged in. You can't have both because you have to remove the battery pack in order to plug it in. So I said, so it had no batteries and it worked the whole time. So the camera should have been on the whole time. And it kind of was. It just got black screen for some reason. I don't really know what the reason of that is. But so anyway, it's a decent, I don't know the total. I think the total is like 18 hours, 19 hours. You do get the southern sky. You get most of the north and it comes back down. And then you lose that area, which is these 4 files that didn't complete. So this kind of goes from beginning to here. So kind of upsetting that that happened. You can't, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's unfortunate. That's my editor. Let me get this back. Move. All right, so let's talk about this real quick. This is what you need to hear if you're a flat earther. These are the things that you should hear and you should at least try and rectify, not just say, oh well, because these are important. Okay, so this is the Andrew Marsh model. Okay, so this actually has a sun. For people saying, oh, you can't model things with a sphere Earth. There's the sun out here. Okay, this is modeled perfectly. I want to show you something. If we take a location, let's just draw a spot here. We're going to grab this. We're going to go to latitude, and we're going to bring it around. Longitude. Okay, so we're going to go to right here, just so there's a spot there. And wherever you're at on the Earth, I want you to see something that's incredible. Okay, so we just put it up here at this longitude line, which is what, 50? Or latitude, sorry. So we're at 50 latitude. I want you to look up here at, let's go to December 21st. Okay, there you go. Now, look over here at daylight hours. Do you see here where it says 8 hours, 8 minutes? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the longitude and I'm going to move it. I'm sorry, latitude. Sorry, longitude. And watch the daylight hours. Do you see them? Look at the daylight hours. What's happening? So everywhere on the sphere Earth has the same daylight hours if you're on the same latitude line. You notice it didn't change at all. If we move down now, we're going to come down the map here. Let's go to here. If we then move this again, watch the daylight hours of 10:02. See them stay the same? I want you to really think about this. Flat earthers that are out there losing their minds. Think about what you're saying. You're saying that this is just magic. That it's magic that people could map the Earth on a sphere and it match observations perfectly. Let's go down a little bit more. Let's go again. Daylight hours now of 11:27. Watch them. Never changes. Exactly what would be expected on a sphere and impossible on a flat map. Because when we go down here south, now look at it, 12:48 or 12:50 stays. Now, let's go down a little more. 14:31. stays. It gets crazier than that. Watch this. If you notice, we're on December 21st. We know if we take this latitude all the way down to the South Pole, now we got 24 hours, right? We know that. Watch as the time goes up from 24. We're just moving the latitude. Look at it go. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Anybody want to guess what happens when we cross the equator? 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, all the way to 0. Now, if we just take the date and we move it 6 months earlier, so we go back, we go to, June 21st. What if it reverses? If it reverses and you can't realize what that means, I probably can't help you. Watch. Now we're taking this latitude here that we're at now. Now it's at 20. Whoops. Where are we at? Oh, yeah, June 21st. Now it's at 24 hours. And look as we bring it down. Here it goes. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0. As above, so below. We have a north celestial pole. I saw it. There's a spot in the southern sky where stars go around it. Those stars go in the opposite direction than the stars in the north. We saw the sun down there going the opposite direction above your head the whole time. In the north, that happens 6 months later. So, again, the globe is a map. Whether people say there's no globe model, there is no map. Yes, the Earth is mapped on this globe. We've seen it. We've all seen it. So if we can go anywhere that there is on the Earth and the sunrise and sunset times match, how could we not be on a sphere? How could we not be on a sphere? That's my position now. My position is, well, everything else aside, do I think living on a sphere is insane? Yes. Do I think upside down people is insane? Yes. Do I think flying through space and spinning through space is insane? Yes. But more insane than that is to give men credit for being able to take an Earth, map it on a sphere, and have it match every single observation of the sun. Let's go to flat Earth instead. Flat Earth, can they do the same? The globe Earth can predict every single sunrise and sunset for every single location on Earth, for any day of the year, for any year of our life, for hundreds of years in the past and future. The flat Earth has never accounted for one sunrise or one sunset on any day, in any year, in any lifetime, in any 100 years. That's a pretty big discrepancy. It's time for us to step back and go, okay, the globe seems to be the winner. The globe better matches our observations. Now, we can talk about everything else spinning and all that stuff, but somebody said to me yesterday, they're like, oh, well, you have to believe in the 93 million mile distance. I don't have to believe in shit, bro. I don't have to believe in shit. I'm just saying that we can prove the shape of the Earth without NASA. We can. This is the PSYOP. The PSYOP is we've now given them the credit that they can fool us by lying about the shape of the Earth. They cannot. Can they lie about space travel? Absolutely. Can they lie about going to the moon? Absolutely. Can they lie about Saturn and its pictures? Absolutely. Can they lie about satellites and or space probes and flying into asteroids? Absolutely. Can they lie about the shape of the Earth that we live on? No. Nope. They don't have that ability. That would take magic. What they need to do is they need to put the Earth on a shape and then have it match all observations and then it not be that shape. If that were possible, then we would already have a flat Earth map. If it was possible to take the observations and reverse engineer, as I hear people say, oh, they just reverse engineered it, Jaron. Okay, if they reverse engineered it, then we can do that. Take the observations and plot them on a flat map. But you cannot do that because you need the Tropic of Capricorn to go to the right, not to the left. You need the sun to circle, and it needs to actually change directions and go backwards on a flat Earth. Those things will never happen. The sun never goes backwards. There is no reflective sun. We went down there and tested it. Okay? So let me show you something else. Pretty incredible. We just learned that it goes up and down. Okay, we got that. We learned it's the same each location. We got that. So now let's look at the opposites, which we should recognize is the same. So let's go to, okay, right here we're at 3650. Okay, so pay attention to that. 3650, and we're going to look at daylight hours of 940. Okay? Is that what this says? I can't read it. 940. Okay, so daylight hours, 940. And now we're going to go to 3650 in the north, and we're looking for 940. 3650 in the north. 3650. Yeah. There we go. Nope, that's 3850. 3640. It'd be close enough, I think. And then it was 9, and we're going to take the date to December 21st. And we should see 940, and there it is. Okay, so imagine the north is the opposite of the south. There's a north celestial pole opposite the south celestial pole. There is a north pole. There is a south pole. The sun goes one direction in the north, and in the south, guess what? It goes the other direction. Now, all these phenomenon, from sunrise, sunset, to north celestial domes or poles, to south pole, to sunrise, sunset, all of it can be answered in one word: sphere. Saying that word solves every single issue, but we are fighting against it. We're saying, no, 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 flat earth is true, even though it can't predict anything. It doesn't predict any sunrise, sunset. It doesn't predict there's a south pole. It doesn't predict there's a southern celestial point. It just doesn't. Yet we apply it and act like it does, or we say, oh, it proved it. No, it didn't do that. Okay, so how crazy is that the north and south are complete opposite? Now, you can go test this. You don't need NASA. You can go test this. You can take this to SunCalc, put in this longitude, latitude. Go check what the sunrise times are. Call somebody who lives there and say, can you tell me exactly the time the sun rises and the time the sun sets? And if it's 2 minutes off, that's not evidence that the sphere is wrong. Do you understand? And you won't even find it 2 minutes off, but you could see where a sun might be 2 minutes off. The glare coming over the horizon, who knows? The flat earth isn't even close. We can't predict one angle of sunrise or sunset on any day from any location. Why? Because the earth isn't flat. That's why. I hate it. I hate to be the one to tell you. I hate to be the only one. I mean, I think that Austin Thompson's probably somebody who's come along, and I think maybe Chris Crum. Besides that, every single other flat earth creator is going to stick with the line that the lights in the sky don't matter. We don't know how far the sun is, Jaron. You don't know what the sun is. It's apparent. It's reflective. You can say whatever you want. But then I believe that you are describing a God that is deceptive. Why would God make the world explained by mapping it on a sphere and have it match every single observation of the sun, but it's not a sphere? That's deceptive. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You wouldn't. Okay, so let's go to so we did that. I'm trying to think what we need to do. So we came down here, we showed that the sunrise, sunrise, that they flip, and you can go to 6 months different anytime, right? So if you go here, let's go to so December 21st would be June, April, May, June. So May would be November, April would be October. Okay, so I'm just going to go October 25th, and remember we're going to go April 25th. So there's October 25th. Come on. Oh boy. I go one day at a time? Okay, October 25th. Let me just write this down before I forget, and then I have to go back. Okay, so we got October 25th, and we are at daylight hours of 10:54. Okay, so if we now take this and go to the complete opposite, which is 3640 negative, 3640 negative, went to 50 again. And then we take this date to October, what did we say? April 25th? April 25. Okay, and then you look at here. Let's see what I do wrong here. 10:54. Did I get the date right? October. Let's see if we have 12/21 and June is 6/21. Then we're doing 10/25 and 4/25. Oh, it's because of the amount of days in between there, I guess. If we figured out the exact amount of days, can I do that with a online calculator? Probably. Let me see, days between, I think it's called. Right, days between. We have to get it identically 6 months apart, not just by our calendar. Date calculation, days between days. Okay, so if we're doing a start date of October 25th. Nope, let's go to April 25th. April 25. 2024. Okay, and we are going to go end date of 10/25/2024. Let's see the days in between, calculate duration, and we get 183, and we need to be at 365, which would be 182.5. Is that correct? Technically. So would we go back one day? 10/24 would be what? Calculate duration. Okay, so let's see if we go 10/24. Back here, 10/24. Okay, so 10/24, we've got at negative 3650. So we've got negative 3650, and at 10/24, we get daylight hours of 1321. 1321. Okay, and then if we go 6 months, what date around? So now we're going 6 months before that, which is 4/25, April 25th. April 25th, and we just need to take this longitude guy up to 3650 here. It keeps going to 3640. Can I type in? Ah, there we go. Better. Okay, and then we've got 1330. What were we at on the other one? 1330. And if we go one more day, I was doing this yesterday and everything was working out. What if we go one more day back or forward? 1332 and 13 what? Crazy. Okay, so that one's off by 4 minutes or something, whatever it is, 6 minutes. Let's try another one, see if the same thing happens. Let's go over here. We're going to go to different latitude, or different longitude, I mean. Longitude. See if we get the same thing. Okay, we're going to move over here. Okay, so we'll go here, and we're going to go with a date and time of, let's go February 1st. February 1st. Okay, and if we want to go February 1st to 1/02/01/2025, and then let's go with 7 months from that would be 9. Oops, not 109. 09/01/2025. Oops, that's obviously off. 8/1/2025. Good math, Jern. Calculate that. So we get 181. We want to go 182. Let's go 82 then. Calculate. Okay, so that's 182. So let's check that. So February 1st through 82. So February 1st at 3650. So February 1st, 3650. And we get a daylight hours of 1023. 1023. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and bring it back to 2023. Okay, and then we're going to bring this back to negative 3650. There, and then we're going to change it to the date of 8/2. Oops, August 2nd. Get there. August 2nd. Okay. And 1021. What do we have? 1023. So you're talking 2 minutes there. Not much. And I think that the 2 minutes is because of the fact that we're at 182 or 183 days. So we're not even going exactly half. If we could do that, it would probably be correct. So another thing, if we take the solstice, the equinox. So we're going to go to autumn equinox here. Okay, watch the daylight hours here as we move through the longitudes. Okay, we're going to go through, and oops, if you go there, obviously that stays the same. We already determined that. But look at, you're talking about the entire Earth having daylight hours between 12:10 and 12:10. Basically the same. 12:07. Okay, if we go here, of course, we know that's going to stay the same anywhere you're at on the globe that has the same longitude. So now people asking about how you can have a 24-hour sun. I've seen people draw pictures where they point the sun directly at the South Pole. That's not what they claim is going on. So just know the claim, if you're going to try and debunk it or whatever, is that, let's go to the heliocentric model real quick just so we can see. So the reason why when you pass this part here, the equator, the equinox, it just means that the everywhere is getting equal sunrise sunset because it gets split like this with the tilt. But as we go around and we get over here, now you see that in June, it's pointed away from the sun. Okay, so this area down here doesn't get any light. If you go to the time and we move this, you'll notice that as it spins, it never gets light there. Okay, so that's all that they are saying. And then when it goes around the other way, so let's take it all the way around to winter. I'm sorry, it would be our winter. But now you see that the South Pole is pointed at the sun. And you'll notice that the bottom of Antarctica is going to, as we make the time go, stay the same. So for people to say that there's no model, I just don't understand. What do you mean there's no model? This is a model. Okay, this is a model. Whether you like it or not, I don't know. Whether you think it's crazy or not, I don't think it's important. I think it's crazy too, but I also have to realize that evidence is where you have to go. You have to look at evidence and you have to decide whether or not one claim matches or the other. But the flat Earth doesn't account for anything. It can't account for a South Pole. Again, let's go to Shane's. Well, is that a better place to do it? I like Shane's model, but I know that people will just say you're doing it on a flat Earth, so it doesn't count. So we'll go see if we can get under here, under the Earth. Where did the Earth go? Oops, let me back up a little bit. I'm trying to get under it so you can see. Okay, so if we get down here and look kind of there, just so you can see how it gets a 24-hour sun in December, is because here, there we go. So now we're going to move this. Let's go to December 21st, which is there. And then as we move the time, see this light just never leaves there. Okay, now as time goes on, as this starts going around, it moves away from there. So you start to get into the dark until it gets all the way to the other side, at which point it's always in the dark. So it's weird that the north and south are complete opposites. That doesn't make any sense on a flat Earth. So here's Shane's model. Can you guys still see my screen? Yeah. So this is the part, just one more time, I want to explain that if you see my point of view is we have a big problem. If we go to the place we were, which was negative 79. Okay, so there we are at negative 79. We were at longitude, I believe, 81 or 82 or 83, something, I don't remember. 81, 82, 83, somewhere in there. Okay, so we're about there. Now, here's what is crazy. So the sun was doing, we're going to change the date of the year to 365, I don't know, 355 maybe. Let's go there. Okay, so this is not exact, but this is the path of the sun that everybody saw, right? The path that we just saw, the low part in the south, the high part in the north. Here's the part that you need to understand if you're a flat earther and why it makes no sense, is that I know that everywhere else in Antarctica was also seeing a 24-hour sun as long as they were inland like I was. We also just realized that everywhere on the same latitude has the same daylight hours. So it means that if we take a round and go, okay, somebody at 79, so now we can just take this and move the longitude all the way around. Because no matter where we are, you're still at 79, right? So it means all the way around, the people have the same exact daylight hours, meaning they have 24 hours if they're where I am. Okay? So if they've got 24 hours and I've got 24 hours, now we've got a problem. Because in the south, in their summer, here, I'm sorry, in the south, this way, if we're seeing the sun here on this wall of the dome here, okay, so there's the sun that we're seeing here. I knew that by walking towards it, okay, you can see how it's tilted? I knew if I walked towards it, which I'm going to do here, that I would eventually be at a place, here I go walking towards it, walking towards it, walking towards it, that I would be at a place pretty quickly, within 600 miles of the sun doing this above my head, equal height. So now imagine, this is what you need to get. Anybody in Antarctica that I just drew that circle all the way around the outside of Earth, if they all did what I did, walk towards the south sun for just 600 miles, we would all end up at the same place. End of flat Earth. End of flat Earth. The flat Earth cannot account for there being a South Pole. The Earth does not pan out like we thought it does. It does not fan out. It actually comes together at the bottom. Everything converges to a point called the South Pole. Very easy to figure out. Once you know it's true, once you know it is there, meaning that the sun does what they say it does, what you'd have to believe at that point is that everywhere on the Earth matches a sphere exactly, except for the last 600 miles. Then it falls apart. That doesn't make any sense. 0 sense. The Earth cannot conform to a sphere for the entirety of the whole entire thing until the last 10 degrees and be like, oh, now it just goes wonky. No. It matches a sphere. That's just the way it goes. You're going to have to learn to like embrace the sphere. I've had to do it. Put on some music and just be like, all right, I'm going to... Right, just get in groove. You're going to have to enjoy it somehow. You have to. Because otherwise you're just going to go crazy, because if what is really important to you is what was important to me, which was knowing where I live, I now feel like I know where I live. So I don't need to learn the rest. Who cares what galaxies are moving away? I don't care. Who cares? Let the scientists and astrophysicists figure that out. What difference does it make to our lives? We're smart enough to notice when they do the racism thing, when they do left versus right. Like, think about it. Flat earthers are so intent. If you say you voted, they will laugh at you. They will say you're a joke because the left and the right are the same bird and they just put us against each other and it's no big. And then they argue and call each other names and kick people out of communities for not having the same belief about the shape of the earth. It's the same thing. Globe earth versus flat earth is the new right versus left, is the new science versus religion, is the new right. It's just their intent. They're hell bent on making us hate each other because we don't pay attention to what's going on at the top. So the South Pole exists. And if the South Pole exists, it exists for everybody in the Antarctica. Think about it. What should be happening on a flat earth is everybody should be walking away from each other. But if they all head towards the sun in the southernmost part of its orbit, they will all end up at the same place. It's only 600 miles from there. And if your rebuttal to that is no, they wouldn't, you don't know that for sure, then what you're saying is, well, the whole entire Earth conforms to a sphere, but the last 10 degrees, it magically pops out to infinity. What? No, everywhere is conforming. We just showed that. We just showed here that these areas down here are conforming to a globe. Their sunrise, sunset times work perfectly. Here's another one that we can show. If we go to SunCalc, and I think I've shown this before because it's another nail in the coffin. SunCalc. Watch this. This is one that anybody can go do themselves, and then you can verify it. Nothing that I'm saying tonight uses NASA. Nothing that I'm saying tonight uses any astrophysics or anything. You can do this yourself. Okay, so let's go down here to the very tip of South America. There. I want you to watch as we go to December 21st. December 21st. Okay, watch the daylight hours. Okay. So daylight hours here is, where's the sun? Daylight. Okay. Daylight duration, we're at 17 hours and 14 minutes. Okay, so right down here, 17 hours and 14 minutes. Now, do you want to bet if we went to the north exactly how much daylight they would have on 6 months later? But we'll get to that. Pay attention. 17 hours, 14 minutes. Now I'm just going to move it up to here. Picture the flat earth map and what should be happening. And now it's at 1625. Let's move to here. Now it's at 1541. Let's move to here. Now it's at 14. Let's move to here. 1412. Move to here. 1347. Move to here. 1310. Move to here. Okay, so you'll notice something. That if you picture the AE map with a circling sun, if the sun is sweeping this way and going this way, how would these areas get less sun than these? It's impossible. The actual truth is that the sun goes this way. The Tropic of Capricorn goes this way because it goes on the other side of the globe. And then it makes sense why we see the sun above Australia when we're here looking south, because it is above Australia, which is on the other side of the globe. So if we go up here to the north now, let's go to like way up here in Alaska, somewhere up there. It's going to be the same thing. We already know. Go to June 21st. Oops. What is going on? Hitting the back arrow. Oh, I can just drop that down. All right, June 21st. And you already know. I mean, at this point, you should be saying, oh, okay, I get it, Jaron, I get it. Let's look at the hours. Daylight hours, 19 hours, 25 minutes. So what happens if I go here? 1746 to here. 16 to here. 13, 14 to here. 13. It's exactly what the sphere calls for. So the only thing you could say to debunk this would be that all these observation times are wrong, but you can actually go verify them. So all these things that I'm saying, you think that flat earthers would be like, okay, I'm going to go test what Jaren's saying. They don't care. They don't care. They will sit there and yell at me and laugh at me and call me a globehead and say, oh, are you spinning? Are you going 1,000 miles per hour? That's the level of their scientific abilities. That's where it ends for them. So I want to get away from this as soon as I can. I don't want to spend any time proving the globe, debunking flat earth, because it's pretty simple. It's embarrassing that I went as long as I did until I saw that, but I just wanted to know the truth, and now I feel like I do. Do I know that we're flying through space? Do I know we're spinning? Nope, but I don't really care. God is still the creator of the earth, to me. And if God made it so that we could build bridges and build houses and malls, and we could fly planes, and we can ride boats, and that's all because everywhere you are is flat. The earth measures flat. Water finds its level. Those things don't change. They don't change. It's just we live on a sphere, and again, this is where people can never get it right, of 25,000 miles in circumference. That sphere is so big that you cannot determine the curvature of it. It is flat locally. Now, this is something somebody sent me that I think is pretty good. Let me bring this up to show you this. Where is it? My saved messages. It's just a little diagram that kind of gives you an idea of, let's see, is this going to work? Yeah. So look at this here. Ah, what happened to that? Can I grab this? Oh, there. All right, so if you can see this, stay there. Okay, can you see that? I don't know what you're looking at here. Did I get this off the screen? What? No, I don't want this over there. Sorry, hold on. I want this over here. This is what I want. All right. Okay, just pay attention to this real quick. That if you're on a sphere that is 1.95 meters in circumference, diameter, so the distance across, this is what you look like, right? We know that. That's 2 meters, 6 feet. I would be laying like this on a sphere. Big problem. If it was 3.91 meters, I'd be laying like this. Big problem. If it's 7.8 meters in diameter, big problem. And that's what? 8 times 3, so 24 feet. If it's 15.6 meters in diameter, starting to get a little bit more manageable, 125 meters in diameter. Now all of a sudden you can lay flat. 1 kilometer in diameter. That's only 1 kilometer. And you can now lay on the sphere Earth at 1 kilometer. At 8 kilometers, you can definitely lay there. So you should realize that we are 8,000 miles in diameter. So I don't think that flat earthers could ever grasp the size of the earth, and the size of us is so small that where we are at is level, is flat. And it's, thank God it is. It allows us to fly airplanes. It allows us to build buildings, to build bridges, to build tunnels. If we didn't have that, it would be a shit show trying to fly planes around spheres. And that's what's so funny. We take a globe and we fly a plane around it and we think it's real funny, and it is. Because that globe is very small. So it looks ridiculous. But if you realize that a plane flies over the plane of the earth, and the reason it's able to do that is because it's level below us. So thought that was an interesting diagram there. So the same thing is true with all these. You can go anywhere and check the times. You don't need NASA. You don't need to trust men. You don't need to trust other people. Just trust yourself. Trust your ability to think logically. How would it be that, let's say that the earth is laid out in a flat earth somehow, some way. And they're like, all right, guys, what we need to do is we need to use our cartographers to map the earth on a sphere. Okay, I'm with you so far. They could do that. So they take the flat map and they now map it onto a sphere. Great. How the hell would they make it match a model of a sphere with sunrise, sunset times? Think about what that takes. If you go to this model, I want you to show you this. We'll go back to here. You can actually turn on, we're going to turn on sun. Where's that little list that you can check mark? Oh, down here. So we're going to turn on the sunbeam. We're going to turn on the twilight and What's subsolar? Don't use subsolar. Okay, so you see right here, these lines are your twilight. But as we move through the date, look how this thing moves in. It's perfect. It's perfect. Now move the time. Okay, watch the time. And it moves perfect. So you can see where all those places have, of course they have the same, of course it's accounted for sunrise, sunset times. It's perfect. So if you believe that they can map the Earth onto this ball and then somehow make it so that the sun rises and sets perfectly like with those shadows so that you can compute everybody's rise and set time, right? So if we go now here, let's go to December 21st. December 21st. And we're going to look at that area we were just at. Remember we were down here in South America and the sunlight times? So now we're going to move the time of day here. Okay. So now watch the light as we talk about hours of sunlight. Boom. The bottom of South America is in sunlight. So it has more than the place above it, which has now in sunlight and sunlight now and now sunlight and now sunlight. So do you see that it matches everything? This is a sphere model. How would that match if we're not on a sphere? What we now believe is that literally impossible. Literally impossible. If you go back here down to June 21st, like we did in Alaska, June 21st, go to Alaska. Okay, now watch as the time goes. I always get these wrong. Where's the time? Okay, so now watch as Alaska opens up. And again, that up there has the most sun. Now all the places down the West Coast. So it matches perfect. So I'm going to check the chat here in a second. Just want to make sure that let me check my list here. I just wanted to make sure I covered everything I wanted to talk about. But really, the South Celestial Pole is something that you can see on MC Toon's footage. You can see it on Dave McKeegan's footage. Duffy did a polar South Pole time lapse. So there is a spot in the southern sky where all the stars rotate around. Oh, that's one more thing I want to show you just because it's such a killer. If we go to the Shane's model here, okay, we're going to turn on the stars. Okay, there's the stars are on. Whoops, stars. Hello. There they are. Okay, so if we move this longitude line over to, let's go over here, latitude. So if we go south, anywhere in the south, okay, notice that there's these red circumpolar stars. What those mean is that those stars go around the spot in the sky that is Sigma Octantis. They do this, okay? If they go around that point, where are the stars really, though? Well, in the flat Earth, the stars are these outside stars. So what it means is the stars that we see do what exactly the globe says. Our stars are actually over here, manifesting over here. You cannot really believe that. If you're willing to believe the impossible over just admitting we were wrong, that's embarrassing. It literally is impossible. We tell people that they can't see these North Stars. They're too far. Oh, from the south, you can't see these. They're too far. However, you can see these ones. Back here, you can see those. They appear right here. But you can't see these. Well, Jaron, why don't they appear on here? Because they don't. It's not the way God made the earth. He made the firmament a very deceptive thing so that we would all be fooled into thinking that the earth was a sphere when really it's flat, and we should know that because reasons. I think if everybody was honest, if people were really honest with themselves, flat earth should be over today. Today. There is nothing left. There's tons of other areas of research, tons of other topics, tons of other aspects of the earth. But this is why people have given flat earth such a hard time, because at this point, we can figure out where we live without NASA, without astrophysics, without physics books, without textbooks. We can rationally reach the conclusion that the earth must be a sphere, or else it couldn't be mapped on a sphere. How would that even be possible? Think of what you're saying, that that sunrise and sunset times, which we cannot make on the flat earth, or the angles. Can't do it. I mean, if you ever looked, if we go to let's go to day of the year, let's go, it would be 180 something if we're going to equinox. Maybe there. Okay, so if we're here and we go to longitude, move up. Okay, so we're just going to go somewhere near the equator there. Okay. So as the sun comes around, let's go to time. Okay, so there's the sun. Where's the sun? Okay, here's the sun right here, right? In the north. Watch the sun. As it comes around, it has to magically appear in this dome. Okay, let's get up here. Time. Oops. So that's it right there, or is that the moon? What is that over there? That must be the moon. Why don't we see the sun in the little dome? Is it because I have the stars on? There we go. Okay, so now we're at that. Move me again. Come back to the equator. Okay, there. So now watch as this sun, this is the real sun. So this is why I mean we can't account for what this does. We just take whatever so right here, this is where the globe says the sun will rise. So our sun's over here, and we just magically place it over there. No rhyme or reason, no scientific explanation. Just magically appears where the globe says, and then we claim that we predicted it. So you see what I'm saying? That the globe says, based on their model, that the sun will rise east right here for that person. And that's what it does. We say the sun's over here because it's above these people. And on a globe, guess what? Above these people is over here. So we've completely stolen the globe model, claimed it to be ours, placed it on a map that's flat and said that, oh, it does work. We predicted it. No, you stole globe observations and real world observations and then magically placed a second sun, for whatever reason, where it came from, who knows, on your personal atmospheric dome and been like, checkmate, bitch. You know, I mean, that's just
you can't touch this.
Weird. Very, very weird.
You can't touch this.
Can't touch it. That's just the simple facts. And do I hate myself for not seeing through the fog that we all have? Yes, but I understand the fog. I went through it. I've seen it. It's where if anybody's speaking to you and they're not flat earthers, you just dismiss them outright. I did it. Right? So if MC Toon was talking to me or Dave McKeegan's videos, I literally would just think, well, this guy's obviously a liar because he's saying the earth is a globe, which it's not. We know it's not a sphere. So therefore he's a liar. And you just dismiss everything that they bring to the table. Now, granted, does Globe Earth do that to flat earthers? 100% yes. The difference is they, in this case, are right. So you see the problem? They can get away with it. You cannot. They can get away with that, but we cannot. We don't have anything to stand on. So flat earth should take a year off. Go back to the drawing board. Try and see if you can figure it out. Now, I know that you cannot. Oh, Jaron, how dare you say that? Because we don't have a backwards sun. Again, let me show you this. On this map here, if you're standing here, the Tropic of Capricorn goes to the right. Very clearly. To the right. Okay? But we see the sun set this way. Which, if you go look at the globe, that's what the globe calls for. And how would you be asking, well, Jaron, I thought you said the sun's always above the Tropic of Capricorn. It is. So it means that on this map, the Tropic of Capricorn goes this way. Well, how could it go that way and the sun not change direction? Well, if it's a sphere, guess what? Guess what? All observations match with one word, sphere. If you believe in Occam's razor, there's one word that matches the observations, sphere. So let's look at the chat and see if people are falling apart or are they hanging with us? We shall see. I could set up the Q&A, I guess, or I'll just see if I can see anybody. Make sure you tag me. Oh, I see somebody already. I recall flat earthers complaining that globers have an answer for everything. For this case, dare I say others, there is a reason for globers having these answers. I would agree. It seems to be that, as much as I can't stand it, that the earth is a sphere. So, again, I don't want to be a globe defender. I don't want to be, because that's school's job. That's science's task, not mine. I was a sphere earth debunker, hater, because I thought we were being lied to. Now that I realize that that's not one of the lies, and guess what? They love the fact that we believe that they're that powerful. They love the fact that we think they could actually lie about the shape of the ground that everybody is on. People who have to fly planes, do boating, do whatever. Those people all have to use the shape of the earth at some point. Now, we may not have to use it. I don't have to use it in my daily life. Doesn't matter to me. But if we're being lied to, that's what made it matter. But if that's not a lie, and I think there's a lot of things about space travel that may be a lie, moon landings, landing on asteroids, driving cars on Mars, we'll get to those. But the most important thing that we need to hash out now is that the earth cannot be flat. There'll never be another map. Nobody will ever, mark my words, put it in your book, write it down on a wall. Jaron said there'll never be a day where the earth is flat. It cannot happen. Because in order for that to happen, we would have to be able to explain something that is a literal impossibility. The sun does not change direction and go left at any point. It doesn't go in the sky and go, I'm going to go over here. Why? Because it has to be over here. So again, if you want to look at the Australia thing I talked about, go to latitude here. This is what I mean, because this is the biggest thing. If you can just trust me on this, and I get it. Oh, trust me, bro. Don't trust me then. Then you'll have to go down there yourself. Okay, so if we go to -79 and we go to 81, -81. So remember I told you in the south, we saw the sun. Okay, so there we go. And we're going to go to day of the year, 355 or whatever we said. Let's go 350. Okay. What does that say? 355? One back. 340. There, 352. All right, so there's the tilt of the sun that we saw. There's the sun to the south. So imagine we are here looking at this sun, and we are talking to people, and we said, hey, where do you see the sun right now? Where's the sun? And everybody in Australia said, it's above my head. Think about this. For those of you who keep saying lights in the sky don't prove the shape of the earth, think about what you're saying. We know the path of the sun. It doesn't matter what the sun is. It doesn't matter if it's 9,000 feet high, 90 million feet high, 900 billion feet high, or miles high. It doesn't matter. We know the path of the sun. The tropics are there. They can't be moved. The equator can't be moved. So if we're seeing the sun here in the south, and we're like, where is it for you guys? Like, it's above Australia. Then you have to believe that the sun is really over here. It's over here. And for some strange reason, it's manifesting a second sun over here, exactly pinpointing where the globe model says it would be. We're looking south. We see a sun. People in Australia saying we see it above our heads. Doesn't it make more sense? Oh, yeah. The reason we're looking south and see the sun over here in the sky is because the earth curves down away from us and around back, and it's shining on Australia. People keep asking me, well, where's your measurement of curve? Isn't what I just explained to you curve? Isn't the rocket launch being missing for 56 seconds evidence of curve? Because I think you should understand that I've done this for 9 years. I know that they can't show curvature on the ground. Right? I know that. And I know that it's unfortunate that the easiest way to tell whether there's curvature or not would be above water. And then above water is the worst air that there is. So, of course, that's the worst part to be. That's where you'll have the most refraction. So it becomes a problem into seeing things over water, and we're like, oh, but I can see 16 miles. Yeah, the earth is 25,000 miles around. So just because we can see 16 miles, I can chalk that up to refraction. Like, whatever. Okay, it's just, that makes more sense to me than just to dismiss the model that predicts everything correctly. Unless you can explain it to me. Explain to me how it would be possible to map an earth that's flat onto a sphere and it still match observations. That doesn't even make sense. If it's flat, the sun has a certain thing it must do. But it doesn't do that. It does what it does if you map it on a sphere. And we can't change the sun. The sun is up there. It's going to do what it's going to do, right? So, yeah, that's, to me, is just all the evidence you need that when you turn around, you're like, oh, that's why the sun is above Australia. It's not behind me. Again, these people can't see the northern stars, but we tell them they can see the sun over here on their back wall. And then the people saying, oh, it's a reflection. Reflections don't go that direction. So like when this comes around here, okay, so let's do this. We're moving up, so it comes here. So here it comes from the north. Let's go back further so we can pick it up where Dave Weiss says it's being changed out. So right here, okay, it's coming around. We're flying down there, and this is being changed out in the sky somehow. And it comes around like this. Okay. If it's coming around like this, then we can start to understand, oh, it's because the other side of the earth is over there. So I had people say, how could we see sun in North America if the sun is seen for 24 hours in Antarctica? I don't know how to keep answering these questions that are not worthy of answer. It's like, you can't figure this out. So if we go to December 21st, down here, or December 14th, we were there. Okay. Notice this sunbeam. This is a perfect lineup. Half the globe is always lit, right? There's your perfect lineup. So if you now pull back, everywhere in that square is getting sun. Let's move the clock. Do you see that? Everywhere in the square at all times is getting the sun. So of course, people in the north get the sun just because it's shining all the time on Antarctica. Look at the bottom of the map. Shoot, I don't like this, so I want to go to the time over here. Can I get the up? There we go. Oh, that's good that you can see the sun now. There we go. That's better. So as we move this, how did I get off of December 21st? Stupid thing. Hold on 1 second. I messed up because somehow we're not on December 21st anymore. December 21st. I was trying to show something. There. All right. Now we're December 21st. We're going to the clock. Nope. Clock goes down here. There we go. All right. So now what I'm saying is, look at the bottom, Antarctica. They're getting sun 24 hours a day. Watch it. See that? Never leaves them. Okay. Now, if you're in the north, you still get the sun in the day. So if we go to United States, oops, what did I do? There we go. So we look at the United States, it's going to get sun, but guess what? We're not going to get very much, right? So it comes around, we get light for just a little bit, and the day's quickly over. So everything that we observe, day-to-day life, sunset times, what I saw down in the south, what I saw the sun do, I watched the sun unfold. I watched the sun go from a heavy drop like this. Okay, so again, watch this as we move back from here. We're just taking latitude, moving towards Punta Arenas. Look at the sun. I watched that happen. I watched the sun go from in the sky like this. I started heading back to Punta Arenas and it did this. We got to Punta Arenas and this is how it was rising and setting, and we were like shocked. We're like, wait, so it only goes under the horizon real quickly and comes back up, setting south of west, rising south of east. It matches perfectly. As we flew further away from there, latitude. So as we fly away, I noticed this happening. Now the sun is arcing straight over the top like this, south of the equator, going up and down like this. Now we keep going, and it unfolds the other direction. Okay, you get to the north, and guess what? There is no more sun. It's under the earth at all times on a globe. I'm just using this for easier for people to understand, I guess. And then if you went to the next part of the year, so if we go now to the first of the year and we keep going with this, it's going to unfold the other way, right? Whoops, observer latitude. So now it's going to unfold the other way till it tips up. So what I just showed you is all that we need to know the shape of the earth. And it doesn't take anything. You don't need anything. You can go outside, just go observe, go look and see if the sun, if you just go a little bit, 69 miles, you'll notice that the sun changes by 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree, unfolded, 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree, unfolded. And again, it's 69 miles every degree. So if we take 69 miles times 360 degrees, what's that going to equal? The circumference of Earth. So you can go test that yourself. You can go do that today. You can go do it tonight. You can look at the stars. You can look at the North Star, travel 70 miles, and then measure it again and see if it went down by 1 degree. If it did, then you might want to start thinking that we've been wrong. Because our maps don't call for that. There's no mechanism. You can say perspective, but that is not a true statement about perspective. Things do not fall at a 1 degree per 69 mile rate. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to the chat and see. I'll start a Q&A, and you guys can ask questions if you have about that, about either model. Make sure you refer to this as the Andrew Marsh model. Again, this is a great little program. You can change your eyesights, different things here. Azimuth, field of view, kind of fun to play with, do weird things with. You can change shininess, white background, surface opacity. date times. You can choose to take off sun angle, sun direction, put them back on. You can turn on the tropics, the circles, the subsolar point. You can press play to get an animation. You can save your animation. You can, what is this? Useful times, go to sunset, go to civil, twilight at dawn, wherever you're at, and then just move with your longitude marker here, wherever you want to go on Earth, and test the Earth. Test it yourself without NASA. You don't need NASA for any of that. Because again, let's say that NASA developed this program, right? So NASA's the one, can you stop please? NASA's the one that developed this whole thing. So NASA's lying to us and they developed this. Okay, great. But we would be able to go test it ourselves. Do you see that? You can go and test to see, is this location and this location the correct sunlight time and the correct sunrise and sunset? If it is, then the requirement of you is to accept the model. You can't find, there'll be never in the world a model that matches all observations and is wrong. It doesn't even make sense. A model that matches all observations is correct. It is correct. Okay. I'm going to show you something real quick here, but I have to do it on this computer just for a second. One other thing I wanted to point out, and then we'll go to the, sorry, one more thing. What time is it? Yeah, I'm good. I want you guys, maybe we could do this together. We're going to do I'm going to transit-finder, because this is how you can prove to yourself that the ISS, again, without the need of NASA or anybody else. Okay, so I'm going to put in select from map, save and close. Don't want to get my, even though it's already been leaked. Okay, sorry. Select from map, I said. Okay, so I'm pulling up this is called Transit Finder, where you're able to do transits. Okay, hopefully you see that. Yeah. So I'm just going to show you real quick how we can figure out the speed of the ISS. Now, does it mean there's people in it? I'm not saying that. Make sure you pay attention to what I'm saying. Okay, so we're going over here to, we'll just go to the west coast of the United States. We'll go right down here to, I don't know, San Luis Obispo area. Okay, so right there on the coast. A little bit more. There we go. Okay, so we're going to look at this and we're going to go calculate. And I'll show you how to do this yourself. Okay, so we're going to go, we want to find a sun pass, hopefully of the ISS. Okay, that's close enough. So this one here, we got a sun pass. I'm going to actually change my location to be in the middle of that path. Okay, we want to see where does it cross easiest for, okay, so right here it crosses close to Monterey Bay, but this is kind of off in Carmel, or where is it actually at? China Cove. And, okay, so we're going to put it here instead. So we're starting here. We're going to recalculate for this position. Oops, dummy. We didn't need to do that. We were already on there. But we'll find, where is that ISS crossing the sun? Okay, right here. So it's February 4th at 8:31, 12:31. Okay, so we can see the time. Now, you can go out yourself, by yourself, and you can watch this cross the sun. And when it does, it'll happen within a second or two of this time. I've done it twice. I want to do it again. Okay, within a second of two or this time, the ISS will cross the sun. Okay, you can watch that with a solar filter. Now, nobody knew you were going to be out there watching it. So something does cross it at that time. Now, how can you prove that? Well, if somebody else does it at the same time, or the same pass, and they also see it, how would anybody know that you two are going to be out there? So it has to be an item. So let's go to show on map. Oops, that's not the same one. Guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where, as long as that's crossing at the midpoint. Okay, so now we're at 2/4 at 8:31, 12:31. Oh, it is the right one. Okay, never mind. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to take our mouse and we're going to draw a line. Okay, we're going to say, oh, this orbit continues on, right? So we can just take this line. So we have 2/4 at 8:31, 12:21. Okay. Because we're going to calculate the speed. So a person standing here sees it cross the sun. Great. Now let's go to here. Okay, recalculate for this position. It's going to redraw the amounts again. And we're going to find that same 2/4 pass. There it is. Okay, so we're going to go show on map. We want to bring ourselves back to the center line. Okay, and then we're going to continue up to the end of this red line here. There. Recalculate for this spot. So now we're staying on that line. I was trying to guess ahead, but I messed up, so we'll just keep guessing this way. So go back to 2-4. There it is. Show a map. Again, let's see if we can draw this out. It's going to be probably up in this region. Can recalculate for here. We're looking for 2-4. Okay, let's go to 2-4. There it is here. I wasn't even close. How about that? 2-4 at 8. Yeah, this one. So we're going to show a map. We'll bring ourselves back in line here. Recalculate this spot. We're just going to get far enough away. We're going to do about 2,000 miles. Get to the other side of the United States. 2-4 is there. Show a map. Okay, let's get up to the... So it's about maybe here. Does that look right? Let's try it. I think we're going to be off again. I can't draw a good line. 2-4 is... We're off. Way to go. Okay, so now what we want to do, we're going to end right at this water. Move out of the way. We're going to go right to there. Okay, so let's see if we can figure out where we are so I can know. What is this? Oh, that's up by Canada. Okay, so we're just a little bit past that notch there, down this way, or a little bit past this little notch, and let's look at what it is. We're going to recalculate for this position. We're going to see 2-4 has a crossing at a certain time. There it is. Okay, oops, that's 2-1, 2-4. Here we go. So now 2-4 is 838, 4086, 4086. Okay, so the difference in time there, we went from 8:31 to 8:38, so 7 minutes, and we went from 12 to 40 seconds, so it'd be 7 minutes, 28 seconds. Okay, so 7 minutes, almost 7.5. We'll just do 7.5 for fun. Okay, so 7.5 minutes, and we are going to do some calculation. We got to figure out the distance there. Okay, we're going to bring up a map real quick. Google Earth. Thank you. Come on, come on, come on. Google Earth is opening, just slowly. Slow goes it. So we're going to start real quick. I wanted to just check. I don't remember the first place. It was right next to Carmel, China Cove, a little bit south of that. So we're going to bring this up. We are going to China Cove right after the Monterey Bay, which is going to be right in this region, I guess. Where do I see China Cove? Where's China Cove? Should be right there, right? It's a little south of that. Yeah, it was right. Okay, right there it is. So I'm going to put it about right here. Maybe say this region here. Boom. Okay, let's complete that. Okay. And now we're going to draw a line from there to, let's do a line. Okay, from there to, and we went up here by Canada, that lake, over here, and we went right past a little notch. I think it was in this region here, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe there? Okay, so that's 2,077 miles in 7.5 minutes. So let's do some math, my strong point, right? So if we're doing 2,077 miles in 7.5 minutes, so let's take 7.5 and get it down to seconds. 7.5 times 60 gives us 450 seconds. So we're doing 2,077 miles in 450 seconds. So we're doing 2,077 miles in 450 seconds. And that equals 4.61 miles per second. Okay? So now if we take that, what is that in miles per hour? I believe that's correct. Am I doing that right? So if we take 4.61 miles per second is mph. So it's 16,596. We just did that on our own. We didn't need any help. Those are observations. They're not calculations. You can go out and observe this ISS crossing the sun at a certain time. Somebody else across the country can do the same thing, and it'll match their time perfectly. And then you can say, well, how would it go from here to there? What speed is it going? And we just figured out that it's going 17,000 miles per hour. So, again, could it be a deceptive? Could it be a trick? Well, no one's ever been able to figure out how that would even be possible. We see a figure go across the sun and moon. And by the way, to people who say I don't have just go to Odyssey, ODYSEE.com. I removed all my videos a while back because of Bart Cybrell, but if you go to Odyssey, then you just search for Jeranism. Spell it right. It's a good thing to do. Click on my channel. Click on content. Go to the search bar. Type in ISS. You're going to get the ISS crossing the sun and moon. Here's the ISS shape confirmed, passing the moon.
Guidance is in.
Come on, Odyssey. Don't let me down. Oh, let's get rid of this. You're in the way. Let's get rid of this. You're in the way. Hello. Odyssey usually not giving me that much problem. Let's reset this.
Yeah, I mean, does it look like a blob? Yeah. But I have no reason to doubt that whatever is flying in the sky has the shape that the ISS is supposed to have. Now, one thing I did do, just because I wanted to kind of verify it a little bit further.
So, wow, Odyssey's working real well right now. Anyway, all my old videos are here. If there's ever one from the past that you're like, oh, I want to see that one. Will I take those down? I'm going to go through my channel and kind of take some stuff down, but I'll have to get to Odyssey eventually. Oops, did I not search ISS? And then I wanted to just show you the sun. So we got to find where the solar transit is. Where is it at? Not that far back. It'd be right in here. I don't remember which one I saw first, actually. There it is, solar transit. So this one, the solar transit. Again, you do need a solar filter.
Mission sequence start.
Quiet down. Come on, Odyssey. What are you doing?
And I want to make sure people know you can see the ISS cross the sky during the day. So you just have to aim at the sun and wait. I had the time set so that it would go off, and then I'd know I had 30 seconds from that point. The thing that sucked about this transit versus my lunar transit was the wind. It wasn't real bad, but you'll notice here in a second it was definitely enough with the P900 extended almost fully to cause my camera to shake much more than I would have liked. So it's not even close to as stable as the lunar pass, but it is what it is. Again, one more time, here are the details of the pass, and here is the video. You'll hear me counting down, and I do apologize for the wind. Here it goes. I'm not going to record it on here.
Okay, don't.
14, 13, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 4, 2, 1. Wow, unbelievable.
My voice is so funny. Wow, unbelievable. Because it's just like clockwork. And that's a very weird thing to see. Doesn't mean that there's people on it. Let's pay attention to what things prove. Something else somebody said to me, they're like, oh, you said that you would be compromised if you came back saying that the Earth was a ball. I said, no, I did not. I said, that's what I was going there to determine. Do you understand that? I said you could know I was compromised if I came back and said we went to the moon. Because that doesn't follow. Just because the sun does what they say doesn't mean we went to the moon. So I said, if I come back saying all space travel is real and all that, then that you could say, oh, Jaren's probably compromised there. But if I come back saying the Earth is a sphere, that's not compromised. That means that what I saw was the evidence that the globe calls for that the flat Earth cannot handle because it doesn't jive with flat Earth.
It slowed down again, this time without stabilization. First at full speed, now at 50%, now at 25%, and again ending with the 10% speed. So like I said, not as stable and pretty as my lunar crossing, but it did the job and I got the results I was looking for. Last thing we'll do is we're going to zoom in a few times as it crosses the sun and get as close as we possibly can. So whatever it is clearly has the shape like the ISS. Like I said, in a bit, I will be showing you how to do this so that anyone who wants...
So you need to go out before you do Infinite Plane Society retardation class, which is the guy for however long this has been, 6 years, has claimed that I faked that observation. All he needs, before you say stupid shit, go out and observe it yourself. This is not, you don't need to trust NASA. You don't need to trust anybody. You just need to go and say, oh, there is something in the sky that's moving that fast. That's all. That's the only thing you need to do. All right. So, and again, you could say, well, but Jaron, it's closer. It's going a different. No. We just figured it out that if you saw it, then your person across the country saw it. At those times, you can then figure out the amount of distance it would have to travel to do that. And we figured out it was 17,000 miles just off of a random orbit we found. So now I'll go to this thing here. Backpedal harder. I don't know what you mean by that. You mean change your opinion? Should be something everybody does, sir. Shouldn't be something to scoff at. Oh man, you saw new evidence and changed your mind? Loser. I stick to the same beliefs I've always had. It doesn't matter what evidence comes up. That's the way I should live. Definitely. Wow, you helped me understand how the Earth was motionless. I'm thoroughly disappointed. I know you don't give a damn about that, but still, I can't believe you gave up so easily. Again, not giving up so easily. I've just showed you 4 ways that the flat Earth is impossible. And you're claiming that that's giving up too early. So now, in scientific circles, when you've been proven wrong 4, 5, 6 times, and your theory is untenable, if you give it up, you've given it up too soon. Don't give it up yet. You have only been disproven 6 times. I mean, do you realize the insanity behind what you guys are saying? It's insane. It's insane to hear the things I've had to hear from people that don't get it. Somebody else told me, well, clearly the sun goes backwards on the back wall because of refraction. And it's like, no, we were there. We tested that. That's what we were doing. We were testing it. How far were the mountains away from the distance on the horizon at the observation point? Not much far. I don't know, 2 or 3 miles. Not far. But we do see north and south circumnavigation, so I'm confused. Well, there's very little north-south circumnavigation. So let's be honest. If you're a glober, be honest. The part of the reason that there's flat earthers is because you guys lie a fucking shit ton. Saying that the Verrazano Bridge is 4 centimeters different at the top. Shut up. Just shut up. Bridges do not need to be taken account of the curvature of the earth. It's ridiculous. You build a bridge by going to where you're going to build it, and you fucking build it. That's it. That's how you build a bridge. You don't calculate in the curvature of the earth. What curvature? Where are you going to? How is that affecting your building skills? You're just building with the ground below you, which is level and flat. Same thing with the ocean or the lake, whatever you're going across. All right, let me see if I can get caught up to this chat. Jaron, proven how when the Earth is being measured flat, and where is the flight pitch data? I don't know. Talk to Lisbeth. But what do you mean proven how? Have you watched the whole show? I just showed you. What is wrong with people, man? This is so disappointing. I don't know what you mean proven how. I just showed you how there's a south pole, which is impossible on a flat Earth. How there's a south celestial pole, impossible on a flat Earth. How there's circumpolar stars in the south, impossible on a flat Earth. There's an upside down, backwards moving sun in the real world, impossible on a flat Earth. There's a backwards moving, upside down moon in the real world, impossible on a flat Earth. There are sunrise and sunset times that the globe predicts every single one of them perfectly for every day of the year, for every year that we've had, for all dates in the future and in the past. And then there's the flat Earth, which has never predicted one. Not one. And you say I gave up too early. Hope you realize the strangeness in that point. That's strange to me. Now, granted, could you be arguing that, Jaron, you stuck on this too long? Jaron, you should have known when Flat Earth Asshole told you in 2017. You might have a point there. You might have a point. I can admit I shelved things I shouldn't have. That we put things aside because we thought. But now that it is really obvious, and I'm putting it out there, there's no other content creator following me. They all refuse to. So you should recognize that there's one truther telling you the truth, and there's the rest of them that are going to continue to lie to your face, continue to pretend, and you're going to go ahead and follow them, and good luck. You will never get to the point where the earth is flat. You will lose friends. You will lose family. You will lose acquaintances. You will lose girlfriends, boyfriends, because you're chasing after something that will never be the case. Granted, I understand this is a religion thing. I understand. I get it. This is why so many people fight against me, is they feel like they're fighting on behalf of God. If you're laughing at the globe, I'm here to tell you one thing right now, that you are laughing at the creation of God. So laugh at all you want. I have to make amends. I have to say, apologize for that. I have to admit my fault. That I thought it was insane, the idea of people being upside down. Then you have to start thinking the way that you have to think, I guess, to get to that point where you're like, okay, nobody's upside down unless you're talking about in reference to anybody else. But when we say things like, oh, is there rain falling upside down on the bottom of the... No, that's not how it works. The rain falls to the ground. Just so happens that the ground is in different places for two people on opposite sides of the earth. But again, to each of those, they never notice that. And guess what? God made the earth so that the sun does perfect things that tell you where you're at all times. You can just watch the sun and you'll know where you're at on the earth if it's a sphere. If you watch the sun on a flat earth, you'll have no fucking idea where you're at. You'll have no clue. The sun is doing things that are magical. They go backwards. It flips upside down, but you never saw it flip upside down. It just did. It's magic. Okay? Come on, Jaron. Stop with the Globers lie about the bridge and building construction. This is just another instance where you do not comprehend what is actually happening. Jacob, I do understand you don't get it. Do you realize that the bridge, Verrazano Bridge, they say changes by over a foot from the winter to the summer? So it changes, it's because of the contraction of the metal parts. Now, what Globers tell us is that the bridge is 4 centimeters. That's like 1 inch. It was built 1 inch difference at the top than the bottom. No, it was not. That's a calculation that you figured out that you just think is true, but it's ridiculous to even say that. Nobody's measured that, and you couldn't measure it considering it changes over a foot throughout the year. So we're supposed to believe that 1 inch is built different. It's just so stupid. So don't tell me I'm misunderstanding. You don't get. Go find somewhere where you can prove to me that it was built with 1 inch difference at the top. Like, that's just stupid. Same thing as just going around saying water doesn't lie level. Yes, it does. Or they say water doesn't lie flat. Yes, it does. For local, it always does. Locally, the earth is flat. Think about a place a mile away from you right now. A mile away. Now realize that only has 8 inches of curve. A mile away from you has 8 inches of drop. Now, if you walk to the end of that mile and measure the next mile, guess how many inches of drop it has? 8. And if you walk from there to the next mile, guess how many inches of drop it has? 8. So the entire earth, and again, I don't know if I showed you this last time. Let me show you again. Because this is what is even crazier to think about. So if it's 8 inches per mile squared, we know that that's the case. Okay, that's the math. So if we do a half a mile, do you think it's then 4 inches? And the answer is it's not. 4 inches is actually, 2 inches would be the answer there. So it actually reduces by the, whatever that's called, the square or whatever. But you go, so if it's 8 inches per mile, okay, 1 mile is 8 inches of curve. Then if we go to instead, 1/2 mile is 2 inches of curve. And 1/4 mile is a 1/2 inch of curve. And 1/8 of a mile is 0.125 inches of curve. Okay. So now think about that. 0.125 inches, tiny, is 1/8 of a mile. So if we go 5280, oops, I don't have it open. 5280 divided by 8. So that's 660 feet. Let's do it again. Let's go to a 1/16 of a mile, just so we can get to 300 feet, which we all know is a football field. So at a 1/16 of a mile, it's 0.25 divided by 4. 0.125 inches divided by 4. It's going to be, okay, so 0.03 inches. Think about that. 0.03 inches. That's less than 1/10 of 1 inch. Think of, you can't do that with your fingers right now. Take an inch, move it down to 1/10 of 1 inch, and it's less than that. That's how much curve there is in a football field. Do you understand how inconsequential that is? How many things do we build that are bigger than a football field? Well, each place that you build them is building on a level ground. The levels, it's the same. The earth is as close as to being flat as it can be. Sure, could the earth be 1,000,000 miles in circumference and then it's going to be way flatter? Yes, but the 25,000 miles is plenty to treat the earth like it's flat. So this is why flat earth is correct when they say, but the earth is measured flat. Yes, but water doesn't curve. No, it really doesn't. Unless you zoom out and look at the whole picture. Sure, then it's curving, but where is it really curving? Well, it's flat everywhere. Now, people just can't grasp that. They cannot hear me. But these are the same people who tell me, but Jaron, it's a sphere and all spheres must have curve. Yeah, no shit. But if a sphere is 1,000,000 miles in circumference, and I'm not saying we live there before people do that whole song and dance, I'm just saying conceptually, imagine 1,000,000 miles in circumference. Wouldn't it be flat everywhere? You should be able to go, yeah. And if you say, no, it should be curved because it's a sphere, then you don't get how things work. You don't get it. It is a sphere. It's a giant sphere, and everywhere on the sphere is flat. It's not that difficult to get your head around. It's just difficult because Globers don't have the ability to tell you that. They have to play this whole game of like, no, the sphere is curved everywhere, and it's show us measuring flatness, and it's like, just be honest with people. Just tell them the honest truth, which is, again, I always use the Home Depot example because it's easiest for people to see. And they're like, but Jaron, water doesn't curve. Okay, well, in a Home Depot that is only takes 17 to equal a mile, so in 17 Home Depots, there's only 8 inches of curve. If you flooded those 17 Home Depots, what would be the shape of the water if it was on a sphere Earth? The shape is the beginning of a sphere. It is a sphere. Now, you can't do that in 17 Home Depots. Why? It'll spill out both ends, right? But if you have the world as a Home Depot, does it spill out at the ends? No, there's nowhere for it to spill. It creates a sphere. All the water on the Earth creates a sphere because it's flat and level locally. Zoom out, you get the curve. So you're never going to find curve in the ocean. How would you go and find curve? It's locally flat. You're not going to find curve. And I think people think that we're going to find some sort of curve like that, and you're just not. It's not the way it works. It's too big of an Earth to do that. Now, granted, do I think that maybe some things are evidence of curve, like the buildings being covered in Chicago? Well, I'll have to still look into that. I don't find it that important anymore if I can prove without any of that stuff that the Earth's a sphere. And there's no way, unless God's deceptive, which is still a possibility, if God's deceiving me, which I don't know why you would do that, but if he wanted to do that, then he could make the Earth appear to be a sphere by looking at the things in the sky, but it really is flat. Except for the problem of if we map it on a sphere and it matches observations, then it must be a sphere. It can't not be. Think about what you're claiming they can do. So this is the PSYOP. The PSYOP is we've again given the elite way too much credit as if they could lie about the shape of the Earth that we live on. They can't. They can lie about a lot of shit. They can lie about the vaccines you put in your arm. They can lie about history. They can lie about space travel. They can lie about a lot. But what they cannot do is lie about the shape of the Earth, because we can go and observe the things in the sky to make sure they match whatever we're told that we live on. Thank you, November. This is on the real nigga of all. Appreciate that. Do I have some sort of There we go. There you go, just to prove that point. Jaron, again, why are you holding back your 70 miles Black Swan of the island off the coast of California? It's only 59 miles in radius. Why are you holding back your 70 miles? Oh, you mean when we saw San Clemente? Because I think if you go to Ruhif's channel, I think that he showed that we were just seeing maybe the top of it, or at least much more than I thought we were seeing, or much less than I thought we were seeing. And it matches the model that it calls for with refraction. Again, I don't need to go to those items, because to me, if I have to start including refraction and things that I can't really prove or show, then I've got a little bit of an issue. I'm trying to show you that we can do it without any of that. That we can go observe the sun and know the shape of the Earth. Now, if you choose, because you're like, I don't care what you say about observations, I'm going to believe this, then just recognize it's a religion and admit it. Nobody cares if you have a religion of flat Earth. Literally, nobody cares if you have a religion of flat Earth. The problem is that we were coming and trying to say we were prophesizing, we were evangelizing our globe or our flat Earth, which isn't true. It's not true. And we go around Facebook acting like complete and total assholes and yelling at people and calling them names. And again, you might say, but Jaron, the Globers do the same thing. I know that. The unfortunate reality is they were right. And guess what? If you're right about something, if you go around being an asshole, yeah, you're an asshole, but you're also right. The one thing you don't want to be is the asshole who's wrong. You don't want to be that. And that's what we became. Do I have partial responsibility in that? Absolutely. Absolutely. Should have paid more attention to school, I guess, or something. But yeah, let me look back over here. Damn, Jaron, reading regular chats before you read my super chat. Oh, I'm going to get there. It's okay if you don't want to say anything, but say that instead of just ignore me. Nobody's ignoring you. I have to actually change my chat. Let me show you my chat here. This is my chat. Oops. How do I move it? This is what I'm looking at right now in my side thing. And there's no super chats here. In order to go to super chats, I have to go to here and change the chat to super chats. See? Fan funding. Now I can look at super chats. So that's all. I just hadn't clicked over the tab yet. My bad. Heaven forbid. We've got, let's read through some of these. Schoondrel. Is that what it says? Schoondrel. Thank you very much. It's well known that a crooked hat is a nod to the homosexual community. Sure it is. Sure it is. So is Elon Musk good guy and there's a stolen Tesla in space? I do not believe that there is now. I'm open to things that I would have been closed to before, but I'm not, again, I'm not one of these people who's like, and I think that some Globers expect that. Some are like, wait a second, you proved that you were wrong about the shape of the Earth, so why do you not believe the Saturn pictures? Like, what? Those do not go together. Those do not go together. There's pictures of Saturn and all its poles and everything, and then there's not pictures of the Earth of the same. That's baffling to me, and so I'm allowed to believe what I want. That's just the way it goes. But I am open to being wrong. Totally open to being wrong. Okay, so we got Dave's Waffle House. Thank you very much for 99 pounds or whatever it is. Rhino says, going to try and film tomorrow from Monterey County. Supposed to rain pretty good, though. Is it? Oh, they're going to scrub it again. I bet you they already did. Every time I go to the site, they scrub it, and then it goes to the next day. I'm like, son of a buck, I'm just going to give up. Nope, still there. Saturday, February 1st, 3:02. Okay, well, maybe. Well, actually, I think last time I clicked on this, and then it changed. Nope, still there. All right, we've got Dearth now thinks both you and Witsit were fooled, and somehow there was some sun magic that got pulled over your eyes. I mean, that's just a crazy, because again, the employees down there, the ones at the South Pole, the ones at all the bases, the ones that have worked there 17 years, 15 years. So what that means is that they go down there and they go in the cold at night and just shiver their ass off, and then this, but then they know when people come down there, they have to pretend the sun doesn't set, and they have to fake it every time with every single group that goes down there. Like 700 people go down there every year to Union Glacier. So it's just a constant fakery event. I mean, it wouldn't even make sense. They would just call it off limits and say it's dangerous. They wouldn't, I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous. I'll make up for some of what you lost from these losers. Thank you very much, Sean Griffin. Different Sean Griffin, I'm assuming. You know, not the KIC. Earth is Life in the House, $5, says, imagine thinking that the thousands and thousands of people who have already witnessed the 24-hour sun with their own eyes are all lying. Well, I mean, I have to go back and say that I did not find enough evidence of it being legit. But I mean, look, I went down there with the intent of doing a 24-hour live stream, and mine didn't work. So I get it, that it's not as easy as people think. And it took McKeegan to really get a good one, and he's a photo guy. He's a camera guy. But I mean, the point of it is that I heard Banjo one time say, there's 10,000 people go to Antarctica every year. There should be 10,000 videos of the 24-hour sun. That's ludicrous. First of all, you have to stay up 24 hours, or you have to have some sort of camera that spins with the, now, granted that they've got the Insta360 now and those kind of cameras, but up till recently, that would have been a pretty tough thing to do. It took me a while to find something that would be able to move with the sun, and now I realize it wasn't even what I really wanted. That no matter what happened, because the sun goes up and down, and it's not the South Pole, that my camera was going to move off the horizon to follow the sun. So it's not even what I wanted. And we had to leave a day early, which completely spoiled the entire plans for that last day, right? So we get back on the 16th. We sleep, I'm talking about the night of the 15th. So the night of the 15th, we get to our tent, we sleep, we wake up the 16th at like noon because we hadn't slept the whole time. So we get up at noon and we find out right away, oh, by the way, you're leaving tomorrow. So our entire plans of having a 24-hour live stream of everything that we wanted to do is gone. They said we had to have our bags packed by 9 a.m. the next day. It was already noon. So we couldn't even, I mean, there's no more 24 hours left. We're going to be gone. So the whole thing kind of got, but regardless of that, the fact is that the sun never left the sky. It was the sun. And just like that video I showed you earlier, when you see the sun in the south, there's no doubt that it's the sun, and there's also no doubt it's above Australia. Therefore, Australia is on the other side of that mountain in front of us. Hear it again. that mountain, Mount Rossman, Australia is on the other side of that mountain from us. It must be. Therefore, what does that mean? On a flat map, Australia isn't that way. It's 30,000 miles behind us. Truth is, it's actually on the other side of that mountain, just on the other side of a sphere. It's the only thing that makes the sense. Again, just saying one word answers all issues. Sphere. Flat Earth has to say super refractive, double-edged, double mirrored, what do they call it? Super fluid, refractive, firmament math. And they don't even know those things. They don't even have, there's no mechanism. They just say words. Words are not okay to just say. You can't just say words and say, that's still my belief. Well, actually, I want to take that back. You can believe in the flat earth. I don't care. Nobody cares. Believe in the flat earth, but don't go arguing with people and making scientific points, because we don't have science. We don't have anything other than water lies flat. I feel like it's flat. I don't feel like I'm spinning. I don't feel like I'm flying through space. That's fine. You can have that. But it doesn't allow us to enter conversations scientifically about the shape of the earth. Because somebody's going to say to you, can you show me one sunset or sunrise angle? No. Can you show me how there's a circumpolar stars in the south? No. Can you show us how the southern stars work at all? No. Can you show us how the South Pole exists? No. South Pole doesn't exist. No, but it does. No, but it can't in the flat earth. Yeah, but it does. So therefore you have to give up the belief that you have. No, I'm not going to give it up. You're a shill. Okay, if you want to do that, that's fine. You can continue doing that. But just know that's a very, not a very respectable position to take. It's actually kind of gross. It's kind of gross. So I'm looking forward to all the gay men that are going to reach out to me now that I have the hat. What is it, backwards and sideways? Is a nod to the gay community? Let me turn it a little bit more sideways. Is it the more you turn it, the more gay you are? Just wondering. I'd like to know for a friend. Not for myself, of course. Not for myself, of course. All right, let's continue on. We've got, I'll make up, I read that one. Imagine thinking I got that one. Wayne O'Donnell, thank you. $10 says, Flurfs can just use Dave Weiss's app to connect Flurfs in Chile, Australia, South Africa, and ask them if the sun rises in the south during the summers. No expensive trips to Antarctica needed. I agree. I understand, because what happens is when you have that mental block, you just assume that you'll be lied to, or it's not really, I know what happens already. And then we've got people in the south. We've got people in Australia that are flat earthers. We've got Flatzoid. That makes sense now, right? Who's in South Africa, who's a flat earther. So you tend to think like, well, they would know. They would say something. They would point it out. They would follow it. They would say, oh, no, I think the tropic does curve left. But they can't say that because it means flat earth is wrong. And this is a religious endeavor for them. Pay attention to which people fall off of the flat earth easily and which people stay locked onto it. It'll be your content creators stay locked on and your Christians stay locked on. Anybody else will fall off because they're going to see the problem with it. Please turn up all your audio. I'm always maxed out. Is it really not very loud? Okay. I have a little filter on here. I can turn up the compressor. Let's go to there, 13, 12. Okay. I don't know if that should be a little bit better. And I think I'm also not talking. Hello. Okay, I got to be over here. All right, we've got, thank you very much, though, Kevin, very much for that. We've got Computer Dog, nice name. $5 says, flat earthers embody the quote, keep an open mind, but not so open that your brains fall out. Yeah, and again, when you hear that, you laugh at it and you think it's a joke when you're a flat earther. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, oh shit, my brains done fall out. They did. Sean Griffin says, in the same way you admitted you were wrong, I would like you to admit I was wrong about you. Your honesty is inspiring. I'm sorry for my past statements. I don't remember your past statements, so let's pretend they didn't happen. Catch 22, $5 says, Jaron, when are you releasing your sun tracker footage? People still claim such sun squished, stretched because of Insta360 footage. Well, I just showed it earlier, but I'll release it. It's just not complete, but I'll release what I have, and people can spiral over that if they want. I was there. I saw everybody do their time lapses. I saw the sun in the sky. You don't have to believe me, but there's other things, even without that you should recognize are huge problems. The circumpolar stars, the southern stars, the sunset, sunrise times. And I'm trying to keep my proofs, so-called, to things that you can do on your own. Because I think that's the only way flat earthers are really going to, if you have to trust somebody, they're not going to do it. So you can just go out and watch the sun, choose a 3-day getaway, where you just kind of can travel down the coast of wherever, California, wherever. You can watch the stars and the sun change by exactly what the globe calls for, based on where you were to start, where you were to end. If you do all that on your own, you're just verifying what you're told, right? You're told you live on a sphere. Okay, well, let's test it, because if we didn't live on a sphere, then it would be impossible that the sphere explains the observations. But if you do live on a sphere, then you should expect the observations to be very, very, very close, if not right on. We got Blake, 1991. What's up, Blake? Hope you're well. He says, look at all these new children in the chat. They finally have something to say, but they still don't understand. Still won't understand. Yeah, Blake, I would be interested to know where you stand. I haven't gone out asking people yet. I just had people email me. People I've never heard of, really, but they're all like very... somebody said today they feel so much better. I feel so much better. Not thinking that that's part of the conspiracies of the world, because they had kind of gone to that point where they're like, oh man, if they can lie about the shape of the earth, we're just done. We have nothing left. But they can't. They cannot. Unless we fall for psyops and we allow them. Right? I mean, if we give them that credit when they don't deserve that credit, they cannot do that. Jaron, congrats for saying you're joining reality. Do you acknowledge that your flat earth position was uninformed and ignorant? Yeah, obviously. But I think that it also has reasons, many reasons, why there's flat earthers. And again, I've gone over these. You have scientific programs on television and on the internet that reach hundreds of millions of people, and we've caught them faking it. They faked the evidence of the curvature of the earth. So if you're a rational person, and this is where I give flat earthers more credit than I give you globers, none of you found that. You would have never found it. You literally are science cucks. You literally do not question anything that comes out of science. And that's the worst position you can be in. You will get eventually fooled and hoodwinked if you do that. Okay, I just saw that Dr. Becky made a video today saying we've never proven the Copernican principle. When I say that, I was laughed at and told I'm a joke. But now that mainstream science is telling you that, now you'll start to realize, oh, Jaron was right when he said the universe isn't expanding. Oh, Jaron was right when he said Edwin Hubble just made that up so that we wouldn't be the center of the universe. These things will come out. Okay, why? Because science actually does eventually pan out. It does eventually get to the bottom of things, it seems. But when there's things that cannot be verified by people, then you can't just buy into, you can't just fall for those things. And you can't just watch a TV show that says they're going to prove the shape of the earth, see that they proved a globe and say, well, the earth's a globe and they showed it, so everything's kosher. We looked at it and said, let's look closer. And then we found that they lied, and it's a complete total CGI implant of a helicopter that doesn't go there. That the helicopter is fake. And again, I keep saying that, and I know the globers out there are not going to know what I'm talking about, and they're going to assume that I'm wrong about that. Find Ruhif, find somebody that's a glober, and ask them, did Stephen Hawking and them fake the helicopter behind the water? And they will tell you yes. I've never heard anybody say no, because it's impossible to say no. We've proven that. So again, they lied about my experiment. So no, was it uninformed? They shouldn't have lied about my experiment. Why would you do that? If the earth is a curved ball, then go prove it's a curved ball. Don't come to my experiment, misrepresent it, make a movie that I'm going to see, and then go, fuck, I'm a flat earther then. For sure, these guys lied about my experiment. And it turns out that they didn't need to. They just did it for their own, again, people have their own little agendas, right? They want to make money, they want to make a documentary, so they didn't really care what they had to do to get the footage that they wanted, which was lie about me. So was it uninformed and ignorant? Yeah, so what is it? I always get confused. Stupid is actually, and then ignorant is just different because it's a lack of knowledge. No, I mean, I would say it's definitely a biased position. When once you start thinking the earth is flat, then you look at everything with those eyes, and it's very easy to find evidence that the earth is flat. That's the truth. It's very easy. And if you're somebody who says, no, the earth's definitely a globe, then it's very easy to find evidence of the globe. And that's the problem, is that our minds allow us to take things in as evidence when they shouldn't be. And then the shelving that we did of things, like when somebody would bring up, I still don't understand how the South Pole stars would work or how the South stars work. Nobody in Flat Earth can explain it, but they'll just say words. Oh, well, it's P-brain showed that there's an anti-crepuscular rays. Okay. Right. That converge on the other horizon. Okay. So the stars do that. What? But the stars aren't shining across the Earth like we see that with the circumpolar rate. You're talking about the stars themselves do the same thing that the light from the sun. So it doesn't even make sense that they just we actually see the rays of light doing that. The stars, they just show up circling a spot in the sky. And again, nobody's ever explained how the 3 locations on Earth, that they're all looking in different directions, but they all call it south. The southern stars do not sweep across the outside of the Earth. They stay in the sky. I saw it. In Punta Arenas, you could watch the South Pole Star, the area where you can't, there's no star, but you can watch that area and the stars go around it. So that's fact. So that means there's a north and a south celestial pole. As above, so below. It's complete polar opposites. When it's one thing in Antarctica, 6 months later it'll be the other thing in the north. That doesn't work on any conception of a flat Earth, and it never will, because how can a flat Earth have a north and a south that are the same, but opposite 6 months later? Literally, that's all you need to think about. And you should be able to answer where you live. So if we were grown-ups, we would all realize that we were wrong about the flat Earth, get over it, tell the Globers, congratulations, nice match, nice game, and then continue on researching real conspiracies, because guess what? This has become a psyop, and its point is to make sure that people who are thinkers in the world don't look at some of the conspiracies that flat earthers and other researchers and truthers have uncovered. Because imagine if we start to uncover things about COVID, if we start to uncover things about anything else, then anybody who's a learned person, anybody who's got an education, anybody who's a college student or something, they're going to say, start to hear about it and be like, oh, we got to look into that. As soon as they hear that we're flat earthers, we are dismissed. So it has hurt the truth movement and the other things that people have been trying to point out, because we were so caught up on something that was basically handed to us on purpose for us to fall down that rabbit hole. And it you can see it now has gone to everything. So they're what did that William Casey say? That we'll know that the CIA's campaign is complete when everything the American public believes is false. And if you think about it, truthers have become the first people there who now don't believe anything is true. They think everything's fake. Trump, fake. Trump being shot, fake. Joe Biden being old and being senile, fake. He's an actor. The White House, fake. It's actually in L.A. Well, Trump is just another puppet. No, fake. He actually is saving the children underneath in the tunnels. So they've just created their own world of nonsense. So truthers are actually the furthest from the truth. Because if you take a college student, okay, were they lied to in school? Yes. Were they lied to about some things? Yes. Were they told the truth on many things? Yes. So they know the truth and some lies. Now take a truther. Did they have anything true? No, they think everything's fake. Were they told lies? Yeah, tons of lies. So who has more knowledge? We take it as this person was indoctrinated. I know the truth. I'm a truther. I'm above that person. Okay, well then, what does say something that's true? Dave Weiss used to tell me all the time, what is true? He couldn't think of anything. He thought of the crash of that one plane with Sully Sullenberg or whatever on the river in New York. And that was it. It's all he could confirm was true and real. So truthers are the opposite of that. They are people who no longer accept or see or want to accept truth. They feel comfortable in saying everything's fake, and that's why the world sucks, and that's why it's going downhill, and Jesus is coming back because the world sucks so bad. I disagree. I don't think there's anybody coming back, and I think that it's our job to end the nonsense when we see it and to not let it get so far as we have. All right, let me keep going. Will you ever think NASA landed on the moon in 1969? I can't imagine that. I mean, I guess McKeegan says that he's got some debunks of my mountains in the back and the driving on the bumpy road, which just seems impossible. Again, I've showed that many times. They are literally jumping in that cart. It's taking off in the air and landing on tons of boulders in metal tires in a go-kart. And their voices don't change a bit. It sounds like they're script reading, and they don't know when the car's going to be jumping off things, so they just keep talking. And you can tell that anybody in that car is going to, if I do this, you're going to hear me. If I'm trying to talk to you and I'm doing this, you're going to be like, Jared, something's going on. But for them, we don't hear any of that. But they're flying and bouncing all over the place. So again, it looks very fake to me. Am I ever 100%? No, clearly not. So I'd be willing to hear Dave McKeegan out and figure out what it is that he thinks he debunked me on. Thank you for the $2. King Crimson says, see how the celestial sphere flips 180 degrees as you move towards from the North to South Pole? Globe. Yes, I do now. Thank you. I wish I would have seen it earlier. The KM says, you're on the right path, kiddo. Or sorry, kudos. Sorry, I don't know why I said kiddo. Here's a bribe. If you can quick revisit thoughts on a video of ideal conditions of boats over a curve, a search for large vessel over the horizon is ideal with no refraction artifacts. Sorry, here's a bribe. Oh, the $20, I get you. If you can quick revisit thoughts on a video of ideal conditions of boats. Yeah, there's a one that I watched recently. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. How do I know him? Why did he come up? Hold on, let me think where I know where. If I can remember where he was, I'll just go to my history. I'll show you one that I thought was very, very well done. And why you find these things down the road after, I don't know. Why they never are found when you need them. Let me go to history. Okay, and I know it was. I'm going to search for boat. Come on, come up. Oops, am I in history? It's not my history. What the hell is this? Oops, I didn't search. Sorry, I didn't search history. I just searched the search bar at the top. That won't get it done. There you go. Search watch history. Let's try that. Like, I've never seen those videos. Let's see here if any of these. It's probably actually ship or horizon or something like that. Let me see if I go horizon. Not there. Where? Because I know what you're saying, and there is a very good video of some. And then the leaning torso. Is that what it's called? No, it's not the leaning torso. Horizon ships. I mean, this is a pretty big one here. I know we've seen this one before, but
I'm standing.
I can't see that
on the beach at Hope Cove.
Where'd it go?
My back against the harbour wall, trying to stabilise myself.
What the hell happened? I lost my video. YouTube, it's not that one. It's not that one. Where'd it go? Oh, there we go. Okay. So this is the one that shows, I mean, this boat is pretty, I couldn't explain this when we saw it as a flat earther. I was like, oh boy, that's pretty crazy.
A bit too far over the horizon to be able to see.
I mean, that one's pretty nuts. That's quite a bit, behind the curve or behind the horizon there. So, I mean, usually the flat earth explanation is, well, the boat's way far away and it's kind of getting fizzled out, but like literally the boat is down here. You could actually see it. Could you see it? I forgot. Now I can't remember if you could see it first. I mean, that's insane. That's the top of the boat is below that.
No.
Right? So there's that one, but there's a better one where this guy goes to the top of a hotel and then he keeps going down the hotel. And what happened to my... Oh, it's over there. Forgot my... Let me go back to my history. Where's history? Okay. Is that dog in the ocean? Let me get it. Let me see if I can find it this way. It didn't show up. Oh, maybe just ship. Good ship.
Nothing else out there.
No, it was way more recent than that. What would have been said? Curvature? Curvature. There we go. This one. Okay, we don't need to hear the sound. It's just, and we don't need to hear the sound of that dog anymore. Okay. So this video here, this guy starts out at the top of this hotel. And he's going to zoom in here. Can you see? Yeah. We can put it on the whole screen. You don't want to see my lovely face. Okay, so he zooms in and we see this boat there. And then what he does is he just starts running down the stairs. And wherever he can get close enough to the... Well, whenever he gets to a wall, he can take a shot. Like here, I think he does. Not there. But again, I mean, this is tough to explain as a flat earther. See, he runs this thing. He's follow these people. He's trying to get as low as he can. He actually does it about 4 different times on the walk down. But he'll camp out at a spot, and then he'll show you. And each time you go down, the boat gets covered more and more and more and more. It does it right here when he gets to the end of this right here. So he goes to the side. Now he's still not all the way down. See how far the beach is down. Now he's going to zoom into it here. Now he runs down again and gets all the way to the beach. And he doesn't see it at first, I don't think, but that's it right there. And I checked because I was like, wait, that could be the same boat? But if you kind of go back, let's find it right there. So you'll just see that, you can kind of see it in the picture there. That it's the, move it a little bit. You can't see it if it's there. Well, you can see that I don't know if you can see it. It is the same boat. And it's just further now blocked. Let's keep going. So something about going from up high to down low causes the ground to cover more of the item. So that's pretty hard to explain. I mean, I know the flat earth talking points there. What I would say before as a flat earther is I would say, oh, well, it's just because you're angled to the boat. It's causing the water to kind of be seen as higher. And you kind of, there's really, again, because I didn't understand the idea of curvature of the earth. Is that the earth's not curved. We don't measure it curved. Well, now that I know that it must be curved, there's really no other answer that fits. Then I just have to kind of go with, and again, here's my thing. I don't have to understand everything in the world. Can you imagine? Do we have to understand heart surgery? No. Do we have to understand lung surgery? No, we don't. And there's a reason for that, and it's because there's people who've been educated on that subject. So if I have a heart attack or if I've got some heart issues, I'm going to go to a heart surgeon. So I do recognize that when it comes to things about the earth, it's probably best to go to experts. And if you disagree with that, then I want you to write a paper saying that when you have any issues, you're not going to go to a doctor at all. Heart issues, if you have a broken arm, you're just going to fix it yourself. Or do you think you should trust the person that has some experience and some schooling in fixing broken arms? That's just me. Now, again, do I trust all doctors? No. Would I go with a flu? No. Even pneumonia? Probably not. But teach their own. I'm just saying that sometimes you have to go to people who have done this. And I think that like Ruhif is somebody who uses a theodolite, shows, like flat earthers literally say that the horizon rises to eye level or towards eye level. I get it. But it's been shown with a theodolite that every time you go up, the horizon drops. It just is the impression of it rising to eye level. But when you actually measure it with tools for that specific reason, it doesn't conform. It doesn't give you the correct answer. So again, if you think everything's a deception, and I did think a lot of things were a deception, then you're going to discount a lot of things that people say. You're going to look at Ruhif and say, that guy's just a glober. Of course he's going to give us globe answers, and you're just going to dismiss it. But then just recognize, how will you ever know if you're wrong? How will you ever know if you need to reassess your position? Because what flat earthers seem like to me is they're people who can never be wrong. Even though I just watched 50% of the content creators shit the bed over and over and over and over again about a observation that I was at, an event that I was there. And they have said everything about it being fake when they are 100% wrong. So if they're wrong on that, now I have to look at everything they've ever said. So things that I used to consider part of flat earth evidence, a lot of it came from other people. So if they can't get this right, which is 9 people live streaming in Antarctica every day they're there, and they can't come to the conclusion that that's real, but I know why they can't. It's because they know the implications of a 24-hour sun. The people who are saying it's fake are the religious people who know that if it were real, that their flat earth goes bye-bye. So to them, I must be faking it. In fact, I'm not a Christian, so I'm definitely faking it. But Banjo, who's retarded as it gets, he's telling the truth because he's Christian. He can lie about people. He can make little memes. He can make jokes about people killing other people. It's all cool. When you're a Christian, you get away with anything. Say whatever you want. You could be as wrong as many times as you want to. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. As long as you say Jesus is your Savior, then you're all good. I guess that's as far as I know. That's how it works. So just love Jesus and that's it. You're good. But again, I don't mind people's religion. Your religion is definitely your deal. But it doesn't mean you can then go push their... We don't want Jehovah's Witnesses at our doors, right? We don't want people telling us about their religion. Keep your religion to yourself. So flat earth should be the same. If you believe in some sort of cosmology that requires a flat earth that doesn't match observations, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. That's all I'm saying. Because you can't go around telling people that they're wrong, and then when you're asked for evidence, just say things like, well, we know it's not a sphere. That's not very good evidence. But we know it's not a sphere. Yeah, but that's not good evidence. That's what I'm trying to say. So just leave it to Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right, we're done with that one. Let me go back to the super chats. We got. Thank you. Okay, good. Thank you very much for that bribe. We've got the casual engineer, $2 Australian. Thank you much. Says good work. Thank you. Madeline May, $5 says I think Dearth defending you, then turning around and claiming it's fake shortly after he got so much backlash is an example of who's being dishonest here. Well, I'd like not to think that, but I don't. I mean, he went from saying, I mean, talk about flip-flopping. He went from saying no, that they can't fake the sun. In fact, I heard him in an interview say that giants could fake the sun, but humans could not. So maybe his belief is that giants carried around the sun on a snowblower with banjo at the helm. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. It's frustrating to say the least. Thanks, Jaron. I'm a Globie who is on your side. Love to talk. Thank you, Timothy. Whoa, $50. Timothy, you are the man. Appreciate that. All right, so coming up, we got tomorrow, the SpaceX launch. If you're in California, please try and film it. In fact, I heard somebody filmed it from Arizona, one of the last ones. So if you could do that, just make sure you have your location, and the time is on this page here. You can go to, it's a pretty nice website, whatever this is. It's called spacelaunchschedule.com, and it's got a little monkey on it, but you can just go to basically any, go to the homepage, easy from here. Basically just go down here, find that this is the launch. So, in order, you got this one next, February 1st, and then you got this one February 2nd.
And then do one thing right.
Where's that coming from? What was that? Okay, I guess I was on this. Oh, here. Get out of here, ad. All right. So anyway, you can check out some of these launches. You have to look where they're at. This is from New Zealand. This is from Florida, Texas, Republic of China, Florida. Anyway, the only one I'll be able to see from my house is, and I'm going to travel about 5 miles from here. I found a place that has a wide open view of the southern sky. And again, to that person that keeps saying Jaron doesn't understand that atmosphere hides it, I don't think you get that if the Earth is flat, then it took off from the same level that you're at, right? So the Earth is flat, then far away, 275 miles away, or whatever it was, 175 miles away, 225. Then when the rocket takes off from the ground, it's taking off from where your feet are. So if there's atmosphere blocking it, why would it take 56 seconds for the rocket to show up on the horizon? So what you have to believe then is for 56 seconds, the rocket doesn't move. It hovers and waits for 56 seconds. It's like, okay, now I can go up. But that's not the case. The case is, if we have to really look at it and be objective, we're going to say, well, what makes more sense here? That it's in non-existent land for 56 seconds? Or it was always traveling up and it came from a position lower than my horizon. And when you do the calculations, it turns out that it exactly matches the sphere Earth. So again, now we have to invent a new conspiracy idea of how they're able to fake rockets to people far away, not knowing how far away they are. So they don't know if I'm filming it, if Enrique's filming it up in Sacramento, if Rhino's going to film it from Monterey. They don't know that. So they can't fake it so that we all see what the globe calls for. This is what I'm trying to get across. They wouldn't be able to do that. And we should recognize that and not keep giving them all these permissions. Oh, they can do it. They can. Marty Leeds and Dave Weiss said that it's easier to fake the sun than it is to fake a rocket launch. Can you imagine? I mean, that's insanity. Think about it. What do you mean? It's the sun had to light up the entire Earth. Let me see. Did I show this yet? I don't know if I ever even released this. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Did I release my time lapse of the flight? I don't even know. Should pay attention to what I'm doing. I might have, or I maybe just made the video and haven't done it yet. Let me put this up. You can watch this. Where's my pop player? Here we go. Maybe I did release this. I don't know. This one starts about an hour before landing, right as the peninsula was ending and the mainland was coming into view. After a short time... Oh, can you read that or what? Let's go back a little bit so you can see. What did I writing there? All right, short flight time lapse. Punta Arenas to Union Glacier, peninsula to landing. GoPro falls before landing. See chest cam for landing. Time lapse is from December 14th. It starts about an hour before landing, right as the peninsula was ending and the mainland was coming into view. After a short time above the frozen ground, we begin to see the mountains in the distance and eventually turn towards the landing on a blue ice natural runway. Unfortunately, the camera falls off the window just seconds before landing. You can see the landing on my chest cam footage, but this camera was on the floor. And we can watch this as we go. I mean, this is like, I wish you guys could be there. This was surreal. It was like something you've never seen before. This water sits as still as could be. And you realize like, oh man, if somebody's going to trek, like we're just like, we want free and independent, investigation in Antarctica. Like, good luck. What do you mean? You're not going to go with your buddies and walk out here. You will quickly die. Now, if you have $750,000, you can get somebody to excavate it for you or make sure that there's no crevasses, and then they'll leave food caches for you. But that's expensive. So it's a lot more difficult than people think than just saying, give us free... Okay, well, go. Go freely explore. But what are you going to do? You can't land a plane on this. Even the blue ice runway has to be prepped for I think it's 3 people, 3 days or something. I forgot what they said. But this is beautiful. You can tell this is the peninsula ending. We're getting now into the main land. We still have some bits and pieces of water left, but then you'll see what I would call the ice wall. And it's the last you see. All right, so right about here. So anybody says this trip is fake is out of their mind. You can watch on my GoPro footage. Just get out of this plane, get into the plane, sit in this seat. And then you think of Antarctica, you're thinking mountains. There's mountains everywhere, but there is a period of space between the shore and the mountain ranges where it's just ice. Not even snow. It doesn't snow here. Well, closer to the coast it does snow, but right about here, you're not going to get much snow there. It's just ice, and it never gets above freezing, so it never is going to go away. It was amazing. And you can already see here that you're basically not seeing many clouds because there's no moisture. So there's not a lot to build clouds from. Do you see this coming in back here? Look at this. Oops, I don't know if you can see my mouse over here. So mountain range back there. And this one you start to realize oh shit, where are we going? This is all just frozen ice. But then you start to see these peaks. and you basically go in there and turn right towards them. And then land in between them. We're a little more than halfway through. But I want you to see some of these mountains. And based on the sun, you can know that if you went south and everybody on Antarctica went south, you would all come to the same spot. So how is that? The flat map is completely destroyed with that. You see that ridge right there? And this is what I think right about here is when he takes this big right turn. And it was big. It's like, holy shit, what are you doing? Maybe it's a little bit closer to the end. But you can actually see that we're flying towards those mountains. Look at that. The parallax, perfect. You can see this mountain here will cross this mountain in the back because it's real. It's not a backdrop. In the moon landing footage, they don't have any parallax in faraway things. I think the turn's coming up here in a second. Look at that. You can see the parallax happening. This does not happen if it's a backdrop, if it's a piece of paper, if it's something fake. You can't get that to happen. That's what happens in real life. Look at that. Whoa! Like a TIE fighter. So there's the sun. Not being changed out currently, I don't think. So, I mean, look at this. The point of... Look at the land here. Look at it everywhere. It's lit. So it's not lit by a fake sun with a laser beam shining off of a dome. It doesn't even make sense. And it's hard to describe the landing. You hit the ground normally, like you normally would in a plane, but the next thing that happens is a skid. You know, you can feel if your car's skidding because you can feel it's not really attached to the road anymore. Take the first bounce, and then the second bounce was a total skid. And there goes the camera. So you have to watch my other footage to see that. Just a couple things here. We got this, which is the drone footage, which again, to the people who still don't understand the camps, they don't understand that they're expecting like this shadow to hit, and just all kinds of weird stuff. But you can see that that's the camp that we were at with the tents is over here. And then they would drive us on this path. And you know, there's somebody else who told me, oh, I know it's fake because I saw a car go into a mountain. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, that little orange car that you guys drive in, I saw it crash into the mountain. Like, what do you mean you saw it crash into the mountain? So then I saw the footage they're talking about. It's so fucking dumb. I'm like, do you understand anything about life at all? So they equivalently saw, I'm going to kind of lower this down here, and I'll show you what they saw. I don't even remember where the footage came from. You can't really see that far. Well, it's kind of like, basically like, can't get down enough. But if you kind of picture this car driving off over here, and then saying because it disappears over here that it crashed into that mountain. It's like, what? No, there's more area back there. Just because it's lower. This area here is lower than we are, and you can tell that by watching the end of this landing here. So that's the camp where we're staying. And you're going to see it disappear, not behind curvature. This is only like 2 miles away. There's a mound there. They pushed the ice there. And look, we're not even all the way down. When we get all the way down, now we don't see it anymore. So just because a car goes this way and you think it hits the mountain, it didn't hit a mountain. It just went off in the distance. And people can't really grasp that, I guess. Let me see if there's anything else I need to show you from here. I don't think so. But yeah, if you're asking me, do I believe in this yet? The answer is no. This is not believable to me. Cars in space with the Earth looking like this going by? No. Sorry. Not yet. Not there yet. You're going to take a little bit more work than that. I mean, look at this. You can see it through the wheel well. Yeah, that does not look real. Sorry. Globers can believe it. I don't mind. But, yeah, not for me. Not for me, said Shmi. All right. So, yeah, this week we've got that launch tomorrow. Join us if you're in California. Check it out. Did I finish off my super chats? I think so. No, not yet. Sorry. Did my last super chat go through? Oh, did I miss you, Kevin Venture? You said, can you please? Oh, here we go. I think, okay. Can you please take a minute to tell folks how small you felt in God's massive, beautiful creation in Antarctica and how it affected your soul? Yeah, I think we always don't realize how big the Earth is. I think it's very, it just doesn't calculate in our mind. We see a globe, so we picture a basketball, and we can't grasp the actual size. But when you get in a plane and you fly for 5 hours and you only cross the United States, that should really tell you, holy shit, I was going 500 miles per hour right now. And it took me 5 hours to get across that one little section that doesn't even have much. If you were to look at the difference in distances between if you went to what is it called? A calculator, a circle calculator, or would it be a sphere calculator? You can look up the difference between a chord and a arc length. Circle calculator. So that's 2,500 miles, right? So if we do a radius of 3,959 and we do a circumference of, that's area, I don't want that. There's the parts of a circle, center, chord. Where's the calculator for that? Calculator, nope. Wait, go here. 3959, do I get the chord distances? No. Try a different one. Wrong calculator. Wrong one. I want a chord calculator. Circle calculator with chord. Okay, so this is a, yeah, this will work here. Okay. Because if a chord is from two people drawing a line between each other. No, now I got a music note. Not that kind of chord. Chord calculator finds and analyzes chords based on pitches. No, not that kind. Chord circle calculator. Segment calculator, that'll work if it gives me a chord and an arc length. Oh, you want to watch that still? Sorry. Go. Circle, arc length, central angle, height, chord length. Okay. So we're doing a portion. So wait, radius, we're going to do 3959 in miles. And okay. And then we've got, what? I do that. Just changed on me. 3959. Okay, miles. Thank you. And then we got central angle. Oh, I don't know what the angle would be. Let's do a 45-degree angle, which would be like, that would be what? 9 degrees would be 1/4 of the globe. So 45 degrees would be 1/8 of the globe. So 24,000 divided by 8. Correct. Okay. Let's go to, all right. So with a 45-degree angle, oh, so we want it to be 2,500 miles, right? So then how many, 2,500 divided by 69, 2,500 divided by 69 miles per degree is a change of 36 degrees. Okay, so we're doing 36 degrees instead of 45, just to give us an idea of the United States. So 36 degrees is going to be, I don't want the answer in inches, thank you, miles. And then the arc length in miles and the chord length in miles. Okay, so the arc length, meaning that the curvature path from the one end of the United States to the other, is 2488, so 2,488 miles. And the chord length, which is a straight line drawn between two people, which would cut through the sphere, is 2447. So it's a difference of 40 miles in the entirety of the 2,500 miles of the United States. So that's pretty great. Wait, segment area. What is a segment area? Oh, no, I don't want area. So that's just, I mean, it's not that much. It's not that big of a difference. In fact, would you even be able to know that without it being something that's calculated? Probably not. Yes, your last super chat went through. We've got Timothy Millen says, thanks, Jaron. I'm a Globy. Oh, who's on your side? Thank you. Timothy again says, hey, Jaron, have you been able to see a rocket launch in person? I saw Apollo 11 take off when I was 9. Are you saying I didn't see it? Absolutely not. Absolutely, the Apollo 11 took off. But that'd be, the equivalent of me telling you that my Ford Focus made it to Hawaii across the ocean, and you'd be like, what? And then I'd say, yeah, didn't you see it leave my driveway? Well, yeah, okay, well, the car left. It doesn't mean it went where it said it was going to go. Yes, I do believe that the rocket took off from Earth. It did do that. So I'm definitely saying you saw that. I'm just saying that they were not on the actual moon. But I'm open to that being wrong. And I will look into it. Patricia Everett, $5 says, Jaron, if you ever want a Glober mod, I have years of experience on another YouTube channel. All right, Patricia, I might be doing that because I hear it gets ugly in there. I don't like to go back and look at the comments because, I'm losing all the flat earthers. That's the thing. I tried to do this in a way that they would pick up what I was saying and kind of maybe see the points, but they really don't. I've already listened to people on other channels just say, like, I'm done listening to Jaron. I'm done. He's on his own now. So they've already given up, which is, they shouldn't be surprised if they're stuck in this belief for a long time, because I'm trying to tell them something that nobody told me. Nobody came along and told me, hey, you're going to keep hearing all these problems with flat earth. And the reason why is because it's not flat and it never will be. And the quicker you realize that, the better you'll be. Move on to other things. And again, it doesn't mean move on to proving the globe. I don't really care about that. I was taught that we live on a globe, and I was fine with it up until 10 years ago. Then I thought we were being lied to. So then I started to talk about the flat earth. Then I started to find out more. All of a sudden I think it's true. Now I'm a flat earther, and we go from there. But it's a lot of time that didn't need to necessarily be spent if I didn't fall for the illusion of, well, this is close, and so it probably works out, right? Well, the flat earth can kind of be explained, and yeah, there's some things we're still missing, and we don't understand the map, and really all those concessions that you heard from people is just coping, right? When they say we don't make claims, we don't have a model, that's because if you make a claim or have a model, that can be tested. So the globe has a claim. They have a model. We can go and test it. I showed you the Andrew Marsh site. Go verify sunrise, sunset times. Go verify the ISS goes by at a speed, and it'll start to make sense to you. But we're not verifying. What we do is we piggyback off. Literally, anybody could say anything in the flat earth community, and people will repeat it. People actually have gone around and said that the flat earth actually predicted a 24-hour sun in the south. That's just one guy, Stephen Alonso, lying to you. And then everybody, because it's a flat earther who said it, and they just all wanted it to be true, they just all agreed. Oh yeah, this must be true. Yeah, you did. We proved it. No, you didn't. And by repeating it, it makes you look even worse. Because you're not practicing what you preach. You don't care about the truth. You don't care about evidence. You just care about you being right for your religious reasons. I don't need the earth to be flat for me to know God exists. I don't need the earth to be flat in order for me to know that I'm important. What I was concerned about is that nobody had a chance to ever look into this other model because we were taught one thing and only one thing. And I thought we were being lied to. So I said, if nobody else can do it, I got to get out there and talk about flat earth. Now that I no longer believe the earth is flat, or that it can be flat, or that will ever be flat, then now I can step back and say, okay. I see my flaws here. I see my line of thinking wasn't right here, but I have to save the people, not save, it's a terrible thing to say, but I have to save the people who are in this, who really felt strongly about it, but they've never actually done the research. Because a lot of people do just listen to us. And so those people are not going to have gone through some of the things, or they don't know that there's still circumpolar stars that have a problem, or that they don't know that there's no explanation for the southern stars, or that there's, the flat earth needs the Tropic of Capricorn and Cancer to be circles concentric on the flat earth. If it's not, same thing, the flat earth needs an apparent sun. Why? Because a real sun disproves flat earth. So they have to say it's apparent. So you notice now that all the flat earth talking points are just, they're kind of secret admissions to things that they won't look at. because the 24-hour sun cannot be explained, it's a nothing burger. We must have faked it. See what I'm saying? It's okay to way to go that you can go that direction because you'll be able to stay in your belief system the whole time. I want the audience to recognize that those people are lying to you. You can believe it if you want. It maybe feels good. You like your friends in the flat earth. You think it's cool. You like to be a contrarian. You like to say that, fuck the government and things like that. Okay. I'll give it to you. But just don't enter scientific debates. Do not be on Facebook trying to tell Globers how dumb they are, because it never turns out well for you. So just stop it. Stop doing that. We've got Timothy says, hello, Timothy again. It says, I hear real science and math grabbing a hold of you. Thanks, Sharon. Well, yeah, I've noticed a little bit too. We have to work through some things. And my whole point, I'm kind of thinking this in my head, is I really want to make sure that I don't fall for this again, but I also don't want to dive into anything and believe it without evidence that I think is necessary. I thought when I got into the flat earth, if you ask my wife, we both thought we're probably wrong about this, but somebody will come out and show it. Somebody will show us why we're wrong. That didn't happen. And we asked for one evidence of the globe and we couldn't find any. Couldn't find a thing. So now I've seen that evidence. Did it take 10 years? Yes. Did it take Will Duffy having to spend $36,000 on it? Yes. But for me, I'm okay with that. Sorry, it's rude. Will, thanks for the $30,000. Anywho. All right, so let's read the last one here. We got Tone Blair says, what do you think Bob would say about this? I think Bob would say that we need to go back to the drawing board, at least to start with. He certainly wouldn't say it's a nothing burger or it doesn't matter. Because he recognized, like any flat earther in the beginning did, now there's flat earthers who say they never even knew about it. It's like, what? That Earth has to match the observations. So this is why they say you can't take the things in the sky and prove the shape of the ground, because the things in the sky prove that the flat earth isn't correct. You'll notice that how quickly Keith went back to, or Flatzoid, how quickly did he go back to lights in the sky do prove the shape of the ground when it was suiting his position. So as long as it's the Globers saying thing, he just keep, no, you can't prove it. Can't prove it. You can't look at things in the sky. The second he saw something in the sky that didn't match the globe by 2 degrees or whatever it was, then he ran and cried foul and said that the globe was disproven. Well, what do you mean? I thought that the lights in the sky don't prove the ground. So these guys can't even keep track of their own nonsense. They can't do it. They struggle. They do. Speaking of flat earthers who struggle, let's watch this, then we'll get out of here. Just because can't ever get enough of this. It's too funny to me.
Felt that and realizes that. God! Die, you fucking piece of shit!
So you become a good person though when you become a flat earther.
Fucking die!
It's one of the good things about it.
Die! Get the fucking hint!
Whoa. I don't think he realized though that I don't know if you guys realized, that fly got in between him and his computer screen when he was reading a devotional or something. Watch out for that. Watch out for that. Okay, I'm gonna make sure we have this done.
It's a fucking fly again.
Yes.
Yeah, I would hurt a fucking fly.
We know.
Those fucking flies.
All right. You okay now? You are all good?
Like getting in my face, literally in front of my face, in between me and the camera.
Really?
In the middle of my esoteric talk. You fucking die, you piece of shit!
In the middle of his esoteric talk. I mean, you could do anything, but you can't do that. Don't go in the middle of people's esoteric talks. Don't do it. All right. Let me go over here and check one thing here. And I would love to send you to my web store, but I can't since it's been taken down by the government. Thank you, government. Yeah, so I can't really get you to go there. Be on the lookout for Rebels Radio coming soon, or as soon as can be expected. Probably a month away. Should be a fun one. Gonna have some cool hosts. I saw another super chat come through. Timothy Millen says, have you seen the lunar lander pic of the Earth taken just days ago by the new lunar lander? No. They landed a lunar lander near the old lunar lander. I have not seen that. I will look into it. I'm writing myself a note. That would be huge. I've always said, why don't you go back? Go back and show us. So you're saying that they did. Is that what you're... okay, that's nice. Is that what you're saying? All right. Okay, we're going to check that out. But no, I appreciate... I mean, flat earthers, if you don't realize that I'm sincere, that this is the hardest thing that probably anybody has to ever go through, is to admit you're wrong on a scale like this, to where you've got thousands of people who may believe something that's false because of you, or at least you encourage them on their path towards that. And to have to stand up and say, look, I was wrong. I'm not perfect. I never claimed to be. That's why the title of this show is Always Honest, Sometimes Right. Because being honest doesn't mean that you're always right. But I'm just seeing too many people in this community that are not honest, and they're not even trying. Once you, like, imagine Flatzoid. Do you think Flatzoid can come out and say, now, actually, I do think that they went, that none of it was faked? No, it's impossible. He has put himself in the position now where he must always be, that's a fake event guy. And that's, to me, the biggest problem. You don't want to jump into things like that if you're not positive, and they clearly aren't positive because they're wrong. So they just feel like they're on the right, and then their audience gets behind him, and then their little pals get behind him, and then they just they'll never see the light of day. And that's frustrating. Because if people were really objective about it and they went and said, well, let's look at the footage, let's review. Oh, Jaren has all this live stream, they've got this, they've got that. Yeah, actually, now that I look at it, there's sufficient evidence here to call something a real event, and not enough evidence just because somebody says, oh, Amazon has a studio. Oh, really? Then that means that they fake. What? No, those things don't logically follow. Just because there is a studio doesn't mean that we were in it. A studio can exist and real things still happen. That's life. That is life. Back to life, back to reality. All right, and make sure nothing else there. Do I do Bob say about this? Okay, great. If you guys want to support the show, you can do so at Cash App, $Jeranism. It'd be nice. Yeah, throw $1. If you had fun for 3 hours, 3.5 hours, throw $2. And if you had fun for the 15 minutes before and you're about to have 15 minutes of fun after, make it $3. Make it $3. All right, we're going to listen to a song that I swear to you was not written for me. It was written about Jaren, and it was on YouTube when I first got here. So I made my first video in 2015, February, and this song was already on YouTube. Been up longer than that. Is it about me? I don't think so, although it kind of makes a few prophecies that maybe it is. So please come back every Friday, 3 p.m. We have this show. We've got next week, by the way, Thursday, Speaker's Corner, your chance to get up here, say your piece again. It'll be the first Thursday of the month. Tomorrow, we've got the first Friday of the month. That means it's VIP, 12 noon. If you want to be a VIP, wap.com/Jeranism. We have first and third Saturday of the month. We get together, usually have a member of the community with us. You can ask all the questions you want. They sit there and take your abuse for a little while. We've had some great people on the whole time. We've got Austin Thompson and maybe a surprise tomorrow as well. That'll be at 12. And then I've got the launch around 3. So we're going to wrap up the VIP. We usually go 3 hours, but we're going to probably go 2 tomorrow. And then we'll do it again on the third Saturday. And then also the first Friday of the month, which is a week from today, is crypto class. So crypto class is next Friday. That's also part of being a VIP, amongst a 2,800 ebook Telegram library and private chats, fitness chat, singles chat, all that on Telegram, plus all my videos on Telegram uploaded the day after for you to download, for you to watch, whatever you want to do. And then they're all uploaded also in MP3, so you can listen to them as a podcast from there. And then all my old videos and things that come up are all there. So anyway, there's lots of benefits of being a VIP amongst supporting yours truly, the most beloved former flat earther in the history of flat earth. So let us head out. I wish I could shill some moringa to you, but I cannot. But I'll get my store up soon, I guess. That's a nightmare to think about. Nightmare. All right. Much love to you guys. We are heading out of here. I still have not come up with something to say at the end of my shows. I can't say what I used to say. Can't say that. And I can't even play the outro anymore because the outro says, check the globe, it's falsified. So can't play that. So we got to rebuild from scratch, which will be fun. All right. This is the Jeranism song. Not Jeranism song. It's the Jaren song. And we will talk to you guys next time. Till then, this has been the #1 show on the YouTubes on Friday nights, hosted by a guy whose name ends in ISM. This has been Jeranism Friday night unplugged. Thank you so much for being here. Peace.
I know this dude named Jaren and he's looking real fine. And no, I'm not a homo, but I gotta try to make him mine. Cause he holds all of the secrets that the ancients once kept. But the way to Jaren's heart is proving you have once leapt from a volcano or a cliff or an airplane into danger without fear, crying, screaming, waking babies in their mangers. He can smell your fear from 1,000 miles away. And if you try to deceive him, well, today's your last day. You can bet he doesn't want a coward or a liar coming up to him saying, can you be my friend? Maybe you can man it up and lay it down in front of him, show him you're strong enough to go out on a limb. He's got enough ladies lining number on the block to fill 747's loading number on the clock. A lot of men are crying every single day, praying for a Jaren day, but they can't afford the price to pay. All the women want him and all dudes want to be Jaren, but the fact of the matter is, there's only one Jaren. He's got an internet following that forms a giant group. He can translate ancient tablets using alphabet soup, which he rarely even does, though it fetches big money. He doesn't even need it cause he sweats pure honey. His fans send him gifts, make him gifs, jump off cliffs, just for the once in a lifetime honor of seeing Jaren take a sip of his famous oat stew. That's right, he's a stew chef. You may say, what's a stew chef? Well, you've probably never seen a stew chef cause there's only one stew chef and it's Jaren cooking it up. He's known for only filling friends and family's cups with his decadent sludge that he boils all night, every night, all night, every night. It's out of sight. He can do a dance that makes everybody pee their beds and make a mess and cause stress. He's on a mission with the Jerry Berry Blitz and the Jerry Berry Twist. He's riling up the world. You can do the Jerry Berry Blitz and the Jerry Berry Twist. You can imitate the best just like the rest. Come on, Jaren, show the world what you got now. He's gonna show you his dance. He's gonna show you his skills, his dancing skills. Check him out, y'all. Jaren's powers grow with every fight, and every fight that he fights, he destroys his opponent and leaves a sticky mess on the ground. He wages war when provoked, and when provoked, he starts to smoke out of his butthole, and that's when you run away or die. Cities topple, buildings fall, mountains melt, and rivers stall when Jaren says so, cause he does what he wants when he wants. Sovereign nations all bow down when Jaren comes around. They know they can't match his skills, yeah, they've all heard this song. He's lived for thousands of years and caused innumerable tears and broken so many hearts, I just don't know where to start. His flow's unbreakable, swagger unshakable, his style's impeccable, and you can't do anything when he competes at Pizza Prize Bowl. Girls want to marry him, but a mate would only slow him down, and besides, you know that he would never ever share his crown. He's left everyone he's met depressed, torn up, and so forlorn with